Well, hello everybody. Welcome. Oh my god, the game looks very, very low volume. How's it going, everybody? Day 2 of Repentance today. I'm a little bit worried about it now. I don't know if you guys have read the comments on the last part, but some of you guys apparently did not enjoy this release. So we'll see how this goes. I've actually had a bit of a mix. So yesterday I polled you guys, like, you know, I just took a straw poll in chat as we started. Hey, how did you guys like it? And we got like a lot of like middling ratings. But oh, some of you guys, you didn't enjoy it. So we'll see. You're a minute late. I'm outraged. You know, I'm not really, because I hit the button exactly at the time. But OBS, like, there's a weird extra phase with OBS where it needs to slowly kick up. And so on my end, it was fine. But I guess it took a second to roll through on YouTube. But yeah, I have some pretty good news for you guys. Well, it's maybe not good news, I don't know, but I was talking about the move in the last part. I actually have a proper final serious for realsies this time date, which is very good, and it's quite soon as well. We should have plenty of time to finish this patch at least before it happens. Basically, the game plan right now is, you know, it's rush in real life at the moment, get everything sorted, everything set up. One of the main things that's going to be a bit of a problem every time I move. I don't know whether this is just I've been unlucky with this, with phone companies and, you know, internet companies here in the UK, or it's just a UK thing. I've been led to believe it's a UK thing. But they take a long time when they set up. I remember not my most recent move, but the move before that. There was, and it's weird because I know this happened. I don't remember what I did. When was it, as far as Guild Wars releases was concerned? I think it was shortly after POF's launch. Shortly after POF, I moved, and I didn't have internet for like 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. I don't really know what I did to occupy myself during those 2 weeks. Went outside and touched grass, I suppose. So I don't know. I don't know how long this one's going to be. The idea, though, is to call early and get it set up very soon, so that any potential downtime is minimized. But I got to figure out, you know, what the cable situation is like out there as well, and we'll figure things out. So, yeah, that's basically the thing. We'll continue on with this patch, and very soon I'll be all go. There'll probably be a bit of a blackout as I get the internet, or I say I get the internet set up, as I sit around waiting for a technician to arrive for potentially 2 weeks. And then, yeah, we should be ready to continue on and, you know, do whatever. I'm not actually sure what project I want to do very next. I'll probably... So, Zeus as well. I didn't mention Zeus in the last episode. Zeus should be done. We're down to the last, like, 5 or 6 episodes of the entire Let's Play now, by the way. Zeus is very, very, very nearly done. And I was playing with scheduling the uploads, which I think I'll do during that blackout as well. So there will be content from me during that time, but after that, we're sort of finally done with it. So yeah. Oh my gosh. What? Wow, look at all these gifted memberships. 50! Are there even 50 people here yet? That's insane. Dude, John, thank you so much for that. Wow. Oh my god. You don't know if Monster Hunter is just blurry, but my game's really sharpened? I think Monster Hunter is just really blurry. It's weird. You know, we'll play Monster Hunter in the evening, and I'll get used to it. I'll get, like, acclimated to how that game looks, and whenever I come back to Guild Wars, I'm like, oh damn, it looks really nice. I think it might look slightly more sharp on the stream because I don't know actually whether I'm still doing this. But yeah, I am sharpening it slightly in OBS. It shouldn't be that perceptible. I mean, tiny amount, like 200ths of a value. It's just to counteract, you know, the slight haze that OBS itself adds. Anyway, yeah, I've always liked the way that Guild Wars looks in general. Well, I say that. I don't know. My recent big bout in 14 really... And I came back to this and all the foliage and the shimmering and stuff. I mentioned in the last episode, I really want DLAA for this game. I would love that. I don't know whether it's not possible or what, but yeah. So anyway, so yeah, there you go. That's a bit of the news. I thought I'd tell you guys another thing. I've been feeling weirdly nostalgic because, you know, when you're going through a move, you're throwing things out. And on this one, I've decided there's a lot of stuff that I've been lugging around, like my whole life, really. And I'm just sort of looking at it now, and I'm thinking, you know what? That was in a cardboard box to be moved at my last place, and it barely left the box and did anything. Then I put it back in another box, and then I moved it, and then I took it out of the box, and then and I've done it like 3 times now, and it's like, what am I doing with this? Is it time to throw out? I'm thinking stuff like that. So, and it's weird. I like to think I'm not a very sentimental or attached person, but I kind of am with weird stuff like that. So here, I'll show you guys a decision I made just now. Almost the entire time I've been making videos, obviously I've gone through different PCs and monitors and all kinds of stuff, microphones. But I think pretty much the entire time I've been making videos, I've used the same speakers. And in fact, they appear in one of the old face cams that I had. So hold on, let me turn the face cams on. Here, this face cam, I can't remember the last stream because we don't really use these that much lately. But this face cam here, and I never really liked, this is supposed to be like an 80s punk kind of character. Anyway, if you look in the background, that's Stardew Valley, by the way. I shot these a long time ago. I can't believe Stardew Valley's that old. I'm not sure what the map is on the screen. That might be one of my world building projects. Maybe, or it's, I don't know. Anyway, if you look back there, there's 2 speakers. Those are Audio Engine 5s, maybe? I don't know what the number is. But anyway, I have them right here. I'm touching the one on the right. I got one. I've moved them every single time, but they've started getting a bit naff. You can see that one on the left. It's got those 2 like little dots on the bottom left corner. That's a dial that you spin, and it's supposed to adjust the volume. But years ago now, it started acting really weird. Like if I spin it to the right, expecting to turn the volume up, it wouldn't make any adjustments to the volume at all. But then if you spin it really slowly, it would make an adjustment to the volume, but really quickly. So you just want to turn it up a tiny bit. You spin the dial ever so slightly, and it like whacks the volume like right up, way too loud. So basically, they just got a bit temperamental, and it's really bad, you know, because if you're up in the middle of the night, as I often am, and you know, there's neighbors, there's people asleep and stuff, and it's like mind-blowingly loud, like suddenly, like just these huge booms of volume. So I learned to be very scared of it and basically not touch it. I don't know when the contact started messing like that. Must have been at least 4 years ago. At least. It's been like that for a long time. And I basically just learned, just leave it as it is and just use my my Babyface digital audio interface I basically just do it through software or through the DAC, and then in that way I never actually touch the dial, but I need the dial set at a reasonable level in the first place, right? Anyway, I realized the other day I was listening to some TV show or something. What was I watching? Something on Netflix. And it seemed a good volume to me, but then Windows like made a notification noise, or so I can't remember what happened, but it blew my ears out, and I realised that things had gotten really desynced, and these speakers were actually trying to be insanely loud. But I've talked about this too long. This is boring as sin. Basically, they're broken, and yeah, I'm finally gonna throw them out. I think I'm gonna get rid of them. I'm not going to pack them with me. They're going to go in the bin. I use headphones a lot more now. I don't really like wearing headphones. I feel hot, and I don't know. It's just, speakers are awesome. So I might replace them, or I might just become more of a headphones guy. I really don't like headphones. I have to wear headphones like while I'm streaming like this, otherwise the audio can echo back into the microphone. But yeah, so if I replace them, I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions on what you would replace, what you would use as speakers, I've seen some pictures like on battle stations where people will have like a long horizontal speaker that their monitor sits on, kind of like a sound bar, you know, like those, which if you read like audio forums, people always advise against sound bars. They always say sound bars are a terrible idea and you shouldn't touch them. But usually they're talking about TVs and stuff. I don't know. The other thing I've kind of always wanted, genuinely always wanted, is a surround sound setup. I think surround sound's really cool. I remember when I was younger, there was a surround sound demo for the game Halo 2, where like they sold like a bunch of maps as DLCs, and eventually they put them all on a disc you could buy in shop, because I didn't really have an internet connection to get them or whatever. They put them on a disc, and the disc had like some bonus features. It had like some extra cutscenes from one of the Metropolis moments in Halo 2, sort of, you know, one of the city levels. You get to see what some Marines are doing at a Pelican or whatever. But they also had like a surround sound test, and I listened to that on a surround sound system, and it was really cool. Like, you could hear like the grunts like in the corners of your room going meow, 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 or whatever, but it really sounded like there was a Halo grunt behind you in real life, like back there off onto the left. I just thought it was very, very, very cool. And I remember it was quite recent with Guild Wars. Didn't they release... I think when End of Dragons came out, they were talking quite a lot about how it was mastered in Dolby 7.1. Am I right about that? And maybe something about Heart of Thorns with that as well. And apparently if you have this like real surround sound set up or whatever, you hear it. Yeah. Oh. Oh god, I didn't actually expect to progress any story or anything there, but there's a Masat mirror we can go into. The mirror spoke to me. It said between the shadows we walk. Wow. Anyway, yeah, so 7.1 is like when it's above you as well, right? Anyway, I've always thought it'd be a cool setup, but I've always been like, I don't know whether I'm in a temporary situation or what. So I haven't done it. And also, it's one of those things... A guildless approaches. I'm a guildless, am I? It's also one of those things where you expect technology to get better and cheaper and more affordable and more workable as time goes forward. You know, new editions come out, so then the old one, the price of the old ones go down. But as far as I can make out, and I might be wrong about this, but as far as I can make out, my entire adult life, surround sound has not become more affordable. It's not like caught on. People don't really care about it that much, I guess. It's not a very fast-moving industry. So, like, every time I've looked at it, maybe once every 2 years, I'll think about it and I'll be like, oh, maybe I'll go for this finally now. I look into it and it's like, oh yeah, 300, 400, 500 quid for what the nerds online are calling a mid-range thing. And it's like, I don't have that money. I can't spend that. That's insane. So, I don't know. It's always that ends up putting me off, the pricing. But, you know, if I'm getting rid of these old audio engine boxes, they're also just very big, you know. They've always taken a lot of desk space. And last year I discovered the beauty of monitor arms. Monitor arms are amazing. So I've cleared up so much desk space now, but I've still got these two big chunky things here. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we'll get rid of them. Should we go in this mirror and actually see what we're doing? So, yeah, just... Who
do you see?
Just a bit of a taste of what's been going on. Sorry to everyone who's just here for the lore.
Let's see.
Well, let's get it. Let's get some lore going. The PS5 headset can do some crazy stuff. That's the thing, because like headphones I know can sort of emulate that surround sound sort of feel and vibe, right? So I guess that's been good enough for people. I guess that's why the industry is slow and it doesn't do much. But I don't know. Nothing has ever felt like when that grunt spoke, when that grunt whispered sweet nothings into my ear all those years ago. You hate the feeling like everyone in your neighborhood can hear your TV? Yeah. I know there's that privacy element as well. You've talked to me about that before. And, I guess I just don't care. Oh, wait. What happened? Oh, I fuck it up. There was a mastery point there, wasn't there? Let's do that again.
Are you enough?
Am I enough?
Let's see.
Wow, they're very cryptic. I got a pop-up saying I can only do this with the Masat Shadowcraft Mastery, so maybe we need to progress this more. Learn to scrounge additional rewards from completing events in the Mistburn Barrens, and then improvements to survey methods increase reward yield from grand chests when completing field survey event chains. None of that should preclude me getting a Mastery Insight, right? Oh, did I collect it and I just wasn't paying attention? No, I didn't collect it. Oh my god, it's me! Oh no, it's not me. Dude, you look just like me though. Are you trying to look like Liz? Hold on, not in this outfit. Liz has an outfit that looks just like that. That's oh, I changed the colours actually. I used to use those exact colours. I think I had the ribbons and everything. I think he has club yarn though. But yeah, I changed it to orange. I'm really very into orange for Ellie lately. Look at that. It might not actually be the exact outfit. I was also, that's Astral Ward stuff, I think. That's my white Meiji Healy set. That's a Condi set that I haven't touched for ages and ages. This is another Healy set with more red and orange, which just screams Ellie to me. You know what I really quite secretly want? There you go. That's using the hat with the similar colours. There you go. Look at that. See? Very, very similar. What I would quite like to do is to get obsidian armor, just so that, like... Oh, yeah, and then there was this outfit. Someone commented on this on the last episode. Yeah, this is looking pretty crazy, right? Got the dragon tail, and we've got all the Aniris stuff. What are these last two sets here? God, that one's very weird. I don't even remember when I set that up. That looks awful. That's like the bear stuff, isn't it, from Icebreed Saga? But with the funerary helmet, I think. I don't even know what set we were on just now, to be honest. It was probably this. All right, okay. Jesus, so where are we with the story here? One of the things I want to do is the other 2 lanes. I want to actually finish the story and see what is going on with the main plot. Get map comp, obviously. We could redo the heart if we like. It might be nice to see that experience of what that's like to repeat it. Let's see what the collector of coins is selling here as well. In fact, I don't actually think I checked what the heart vendor sells last time, because I assume there's some good stuff for sale there. This is quite a bold thing for Arenanet, actually. Like, they've never released a map with just like a single heart, a map that feels like this, you know. Okay, so what do we got? We got a mini... Wow, a mini Rhiannon? Now, let me try to remember who Rhiannon was. I recognize the name, I just don't know where they were in the story. Scavenged Obsidian. It comes in Sinister. Interesting. You know, my instinct there was actually to close the box immediately, by the way, because I just really care that little for the skins at this point. But I will show them off a little bit for your benefit. The game just has so many skins. So many skins. I'm well beyond the point of really... I mean, I was barely at the point of being motivated by the visuals anyway, to be honest. But Jesus. Oh my God, we're getting so many gifts here, guys. Wow. Thanks very much for that, Rocker. Welcome, Nofdasamos. I need to actually scroll up and read chat a little bit more here. You guys have been very generous. It's good to see you all. What's this? I'm catching a live stream. Is this 2024? Oh, wait, you're not there for the FFX stuff? What else we got? We got True Sight Armor. Interesting. Now, this is only a recipe, so I can't preview it to know what it looks like. There might be a collection. We can check that out later. That's a cool idea for armor. If it makes me look a bit like a Massar, I'm kind of down for that. A Shard of the Mistburned Barrens. This is going to cost 3 Curious Massart Ruin Shards. Amalgamated. So I assume this is set up for the next legendary, the back piece, I assume. And then you can get discounted ones as well once you've done the mastery. Because there was a very similar thing like this for Club Yarn, where you could buy like 7 per vendor per day. I guess since there's only one vendor here, you buy 20. The Rift Essences, the Motivations. Oh, there's Tonic for Yagon. Mini Janthir Warg. Oh shit, I didn't realise that they had different varieties of Warg out here. That's cool. Mini Barbed Veil as well. Is Barbed Veil one of like the council characters of the Coden? I remember someone criticising the Janthir, one of the patches, I think the Mount Barrier patch for this, I think it was this character, just being completely absent. When it was like, aren't they the War Master? Shouldn't they have been there? And then what's this? Lowland Shore and Janthir Sentry renown tokens can buy me shards here. Now that's funny, because I do actually have a lot of those. I have 63 of these and 17 of these. I could have had even more. Like, these things really come flying into your inventory if you've been playing the expansion regularly. Most of my time's been going back, getting other achievements and things, but even still, I've got a good amount of them. Ah, and more homestead recipes. Okay, so Summit Banners, Summit Flags, Miscellaneous Items, Volume 4. One day I'll do something cool with my homestead. One day. Just not today. Oh, God. Alright, so I want to do the lanes, but I don't want to do the lanes in the middle of their story. I want to do them from the start of their story. This Mistburn Timberwolf, this central lane, this is what I did already, right? This is what we did in the last episode. Let me just check here. I'm thinking I can tag this wolf real quick. I'm going to have to be real quick. Oh, God, it's not down. Oh, I thought it was down. It must be up. Ah, well, we missed it. All right, screw it. Let's just do, well, let's read that journal fragment. And then let's do the personal story. Let's just continue along. Oh. So, what we got? Otho's Voyage. So, sorry, this is the journal of Overseer Atticus. Right, Atticus, I think, was one of the 3 younger Massar, maybe that got hurt or something. Didn't Manikaz suggest that some of his companions died or were injured? Wasn't that what we read? Othos' Voyage. I don't know who Othos is. to retrieve the keystone was successful. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. The keystone? Like the bloodstone keystone? Orthos' voyage to retrieve the keystone was successful. At least what he was able to salvage of it. While Manakaz's efforts to open the gate and secure our escape from this prison have been fine, we now look to the keystone for answers. Hope, albeit subtle, builds in the city. So I've got lots of questions here. When is this dated is kind of the biggest one for me. Hold on, Manakaz is trying to open the gate. What? I don't think he's talking about the Door of Kamali. He's talking about something else. They suggested there was like a mist gate in the center of the city, didn't they? Also, I'm curious about the fact that Isgarin had like that very personal story about fighting another Masat before. I mean, maybe that's fine and that makes sense because they were at war for thousands of years. But I wonder if there's something more specific going on. I wonder whether Isgarin actually knows quite a lot. Okay, what I'm trying to figure out here is if Dada and co actually found a way to get back out into the mists, but they locked the door behind them. Like, the door is here. But once Dada did it, she was like, no, fuck all these horrible guys that just did that to the Crichtons. They're not allowed to leave. They deserve their exile. They deserve their punishment. So I'm going to lock the door. I don't know how to lock the door. I'm going to enlist the help of the Seers. And now the Keystone is involved in some way. But see, this is quite interesting. Orthos' voyage to receive... So the Keystone... So... Oh, I think I've made a mistake about this before. Okay, my memory... I'll just give you my memory of the story for now, right? Okay, you've got the Bloodstone, right? So, okay, you've got the Seers. It's the last Elder Dragon rising. The Elder Dragon's going to eat all the magic. The Seers create the Bloodstone. It's just this one big giant fucking thing, okay? It locks a bunch of magic inside that the Elder Dragons can't get to. Bob's your uncle. Some magic doesn't get eaten. Some races manage to cling on and survive. And we go into a period of Tyria's history that is very low magic, but life does somewhat go on. Way later that the gods arrive and they bring the humans and so on, right? But there you go. And you've got the story about the Jotun losing all of their magic and getting confused about it, blah, blah, blah. Right? So the Seers made the Bloodstone. When the gods got here, they tampered with it. Eventually they were convinced by the humans, or a specific human king, to throw it into the volcano. Later, the story goes, as we hear from prophecies, that the volcano erupted and sent shards of the thing all over the place. But there's an idea, I might actually just go to the Guild Wars 1 wiki here, but there's an idea that one of those shards is called the Keystone. Like, humans kind of looked at each shard of the Bloodstone and said, oh, this is this domain of magic, and this is this domain of magic, and this is this domain of magic. And it kind of lined up with the Guild Wars 1 professions. And then they said, oh, and here's the final piece. This is the Keystone. By the time Guild Wars 2 comes out, the devs kind of mildly retconned that, and they said, that was just human superstition. It's not real. All right, don't look at that as very much. So the question is, was what they thought of the Keystone also just sort of superstition? But I'm on the Guild Wars 1 wiki right now. I'll take a screenshot and throw it on screen for you guys. I'm going to Control F Keystone. Okay, so Guild Wars 1 lore tells us... Oh, well, no, the wiki says. I want the actual source. I don't want the wiki. Let's just read the manual, shall we? I always love an excuse to bring up the Prophecies manual. That's always good stuff. Let's see here. Gameplay manual. Prophecies manual. Control F. Keystone. I'll tell you what, the internet is a beautiful thing. Oh, yeah, okay, no, that is 100% accurate. Okay, so here, I'm going to give you guys... Oh my god, I'm getting attacked while I'm... Ugh. I really don't like this about Guild Wars. I don't like that you can't stand still. You can't ever stand still. And I'm just bitching there because I don't really know a great solution to it. But there's two components of it. One is you can't stand still. The other is fucking getting in combat and then you can't world map. Ugh. Like, it makes sense for a certain kind of RPG and a certain scale, like, years ago. But that's not the game that we're playing today. The game we play today is a lot of mapping around. And not just because we're min-maxing nerdy losers. It's just that's kind of what the game is, you know, in a lot of ways. Right, I'll read you guys the story. Okay. This is the story of King Doric, who was referred to in that that quiz story. God, how much of this story do I give you guys? All right, I've screenshotted a few things here. I want to stand somewhere where I don't get attacked. You know what? Arenanet have already given me a solution to that. They've said, you know what, WP? Go to your homestead. Look at that. What an incredible expansion feature that is. Okay, so images. I'm guilty of the crime of AFK. I know, but you're not necessarily even AFK. You could be typing to someone in guild chat. There's lots of things you could do. You know, a more passive, slower experience in an MMO is not some great crime. Okay, so here's the Prophecies manual. And it's scaled really big, sorry about that. We're talking about the Forgotten arriving on the planet. And remember, this is very old lore. Some of it's slightly tweaked nowadays, but, you know, mostly it's there. They were neither serpent nor beast. They were neither plant nor stone. These creatures had no chitinous hide to protect themselves. They had no claws to tear flesh. They arrived naked and defenseless, except for one thing: their desire for control. This new race of creatures was none other than us, humans. And in no time, we began to take over. Cities bloomed across the continent. Walls were erected, the Great Northern Wall. And weapons forged. Those things that we humans lacked, we simply built. We didn't need tough hides nor rending claws when we could make metal armor and sharpen spears. We discovered fire, wrote books of our own, passed knowledge to one another through song and verse. Soon, humans had everything we required, and it was then that we began to prey upon the other creatures. We hunted animals for sport, chased the druids from the jungle. That's a very weird line, as humans are the druids. And took up residence in lands that did not belong to us. We became the masters of this world. We took all the privilege and none of the responsibility. In less than a century, the serpents who had protected and nurtured Tyria were no longer needed. One moment while I turn the page. Essentially. Everything they had achieved had been undone, and there was no way to bring it back. I think we're continuing correctly here. Seeing that the world had changed, and preferring not to fight a war over control of the continent, the serpents retreated from the world of men. They left the coasts and the jungles. They abandoned their settlements in the highlands and in the mountains, leaving the newcomers be. The serpents went to live in the only place where we humans did not, or could not, the Crystal Desert, though some tried. The serpents never returned to the world of men, and slowly their influence faded. To humans, they were just a part of the past, spoken about only in legends and myths. Eventually, their memory all but passed from human consciousness, but they were not gone, only forgotten. Despite the serpent's retreat, the gods never halted their work in creating the world, and with the benevolence of indulgent parents, they decided to create magic. See, so here, these are lies, right? It was to be a gift, or they didn't create magic. They took it from the Bloodstone. They took it from the seers that had, you know, sealed it away from the Elder Dragons 9,000 years before. It was to be a gift to all the intelligent creatures, meant to ease a life of toil and make survival a less arduous task. When they had finished creating their gift, they presented it to the humans and the Char, the Tengu and the Dwarves, the Minotaurs and the Imps, also the Jotun, and all the races of the land. But the gods had not counted upon one thing: greed. See, even that I sort of don't really believe. They would have accounted for greed. This is all a very rosy, sort of human interpretation of things. Wars broke out immediately as the magical races fought for dominance. So much destruction was wrought that humans... See, I'd love to hear what the Massart and the Seers think about this moment. This is the moment I'd love to hear some reflection on. Wars broke out immediately as the magical races fought for dominance. So much destruction was wrought that humans found themselves at the edge of extinction. When all seemed... By the way, the fact that humans were at the edge of extinction with King Doric's pilgrimage, that's very cool. I've never really thought about that. It's such a cool, like, capsule in Tyria's history, you know? When all seemed lost, it was King Doric, the leader of the united human tribes himself, who made the long trek to Arar, the city of the gods and the Orient Peninsula. He gained an audience with the creators and begged them to help, to stop the wars and bring peace to the land once again. I've just realised I've read way more of this story than I needed to. We're not even at the Bloodstone yet. We're about to be, though. See, again here, though, this is such a cool thing when you look at the Janthir Wilds and Secret of the Obscure Lore, because what we're now thinking about, right, is, okay, what did the Seers make of this? The Seers will have done this already, right? The Seers already will have said, don't do this about the magic. They already will have. And you've got the Abaddon layer to it as well. But the gods didn't listen until this guy. Like, let's get Isgarin talking about King Doric. Wouldn't that be amazing? Hey, Isgarin, what do you make of King Doric? How did he convince the gods when you guys couldn't? He would just think about how cool that conversation would be. But you know, we get these patches where we can't even press F on the fucking guy. Anyway, wars broke out immediately as the magical races fought. Too much. The gods heard his pleas and they intervened. The forging of the world was complete. As their final act, the gods gathered back their gift of magic from all the races and trapped it inside a tall stone. They smashed the stone into 5 parts. 4 equal, but... See, here it makes it sound like the Bloodstone only just was created by the gods. But remember, this is Guild Wars 1 lore right now. Guild Wars 2 revealed that the Bloodstone was already a thing. It was used to defend against the Elder Dragons 10,000 years ago. The gods had just initially tapped it. You know, we should play a Ra. We should play a Ra P4. The gods heard his pleas and they intervened. The forging of the world was complete. As the final act, they gathered back their gift of magic. They smashed the stone into 5 parts, 4 equal but opposing stones of magic, and 1 keystone. Without the keystone, the other 4 couldn't be reassembled. So, speaking like Doylist for a second here, it's like they're setting up for a story where the Bloodstone is reforged or something. Because don't forget, a lot of this is like primitive Guild Wars stuff where it's a PvP game and they're looking for justifications for people to fight one another and stuff. And it's, you know, it's kind of weird, actually. Obviously, the story never went to do any of this, really, on any level. Without the keystone, the other 4 couldn't be reassembled. So what is this? Are we going in this direction now? Is this patch telling me that the Massart are trying to rebuild it so that they can escape to the mists for some reason? Each of the first 4 stones was the embodiment of a specific school of magic. Preservation, destruction. So that would be Monk, Ellie, aggression. I don't know what aggression is really. Denial would be Mesmer, I guess. Maybe destruction. Maybe aggression is necro magic. I don't know. Magic would still exist in the world, but the devastating power of all 4 types together, like the Infinity Stones, would never again be at the command of one single creature. Those who accepted the gift would have to cooperate if they intended to use it to its fullest. That whole paragraph is just like meaningless human babble, really, as far as everything else is concerned. It would be very, very interesting if modern Arenanet went back to this stuff and cast a new light on it and give it a bit more relevance or something. The gods told King Doric that since he had asked for peace, he and his descendants must carry the burden of protecting the stones. As an additional precaution, look at this, humans are meant to protect the stones? Well, they didn't do a very good job of that, did they? Jesus Christ. I can't even imagine why humans would think that of themselves. As an additional precaution, they used a drop of King Doric's blood to seal each of the stones. Then the stones were dropped. Oh, I thought they were all one big stone. They weren't. They were always separate. There you go. That's me slipping and messing up. Then the stones were dropped one by one into the volcano off the southern shore of the Kingdom of Kryta, i.e. the Fire Island chain, and the gods left this world forever, confident that they had balanced out their gift and circumvented greed. What's also not listed here is there was a big war between them and Abaddon, because Abaddon didn't like any of this, and they fucked a bunch of places up. Also, that was when the Crystal Desert was actually created, and this short story acts like the Forgotten have already been there, even though it would have been the Crystal Sea. And you could say, well, fine, whatever, but they did specifically say they went there to hide because humans can't live there, but we knew that humans were living there because there were Margonites there. Whatever, let's gloss over all of that. Things were good for a time, no one race gained dominance over another, and the world was once again at peace. Over the next 100 years, the human kingdoms prospered. Powerful groups grew up within each nation. These were the guilds. It was these groups, these guilds, that had the real power. Though there were kings and organizations that made the law and regulated the land, it was the guilds that enforced these laws. Or didn't, as they saw fit. As these guilds grew, their influence began to overlap. Blah, blah, blah. And we're kind of moving on from it now. Oh no, there is a bit more about the Bloodstones here. As is ever the case with peace, it once again came to an end when the volcano erupted, spitting out the 5 stones and scattering them across Tyria. The magic they embodied seeped out into the lands around them. Though the Bloodstones, as they are called, have never been reunited, the power they possess was enough to reignite the desire for power in the hearts of men. And then it basically is, you know, they form guilds, and then it's Ascalon, Cryer, and Or, and then it's the Guild Wars, and blah, 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 and we move on. So there you go, crash course, or maybe not so much of a crash course, but a course there on the Bloodstones. So, what am I reading here? What am I reading here? Let's go back to this journal. Where was it? Shit, I hope I can find it. It didn't disappear when I picked it up, did it? I don't think it did. Mistburn Beehive there. The Titan Heatstone Cluster there. Is it up or down? Yeah, hello to everyone in chat. Hello, Derveg. It's good to see you. Abaddon knows why it's supposed to be shared. Well, for a long time with the Abaddon thing, I always kind of liked the idea. First of all, Abaddon's a cool character as like a fallen hero type archetype. He is a villain. Right? There's a problem when you discuss Abaddon online usually. People forget, like, I like him as a fallen hero kind of character. That doesn't mean he wasn't evil eventually. He's definitely evil by the time of Guild Wars 1, alright? He's definitely a terrible, terrible character trying to destroy the world. It's, you know... But the idea that once upon a time he had a point and everyone betrayed him and put him in this prison, and in the prison he kind of went crazy. That, I quite like. Okay, there's another journal here. Shit. Oh, God. This is the 3rd or 4th White Mantle ones. Alright, well, let's read it. And we'll try to go back to the Keystone thing in a second. But yeah, for years I liked this idea of, you know, Guild Wars 2 recontextualizing Abaddon as basically saying, well, look, he wanted everyone to have magic to do battle with the dragons, right? I liked the idea that there was this fundamental argument where what we just read in the Guild Wars 1's manuscript, let's just say that's all very grey, and that's a lot of that's probably not real, right? Let's just say that. The reality is, the gods distributed magic back out of the Bloodstone because at first they wanted the peoples of Tyria to have it as a tool to fight back against the Elder Dragons. They wanted their children, as it were, to be prepared. And maybe the seers said, no, them having magic is bad because the dragons are going to come and eat it. It makes them a target to have magic. And the gods said, no, we like our plan. Then they all go to war and mess each other up and stuff. King Doric comes. And I like to think the gods at that point say, okay, we made a mistake. All right, no, let's take it back. But Abaddon sticks his feet in the sand and he says, no, they need this magic. I like that because that's a cool sympathetic side of Abaddon. It's like he is just trying to do best for his kids, so to speak. He just disagrees with the parenting style. God, I hate this metaphor. But so, and you know, he gets betrayed or whatever for it and so on. You can go another tack. And they've never really declared that to be the case, but that's what I always liked, sort of the vibe of the story. You can go another tack where you just say, no, he's nefarious and he just wanted them to get slaughtered and... I don't know, but where's the fun in that? You know, where's the magic? Where's the verisimilitude there? You know, there's nothing really to latch on to. That's just like what a teenager would, a young teenager would enjoy in a story, and I'm not that. So I don't know. This is why it's you know, they killed Mabon in Secrets of the Obscure because it felt like, to me, speaking narratively, it's very difficult to have a character that's so all-knowing and brilliant and has had such a long life. You can't have characters like that on screen. You got to get them away. Even Ogden was a problem for that for years with the core story. So, you know, we got to write him out, basically. And I kind of can accept that. But then you've still got Isgar in there. And I know he's very arrogant and he's kind of closed off, but... I think what I want is more opportunities to experience in that in-game. Do you know, if the whole way through Secrets of the Obscure and Janthir Wilds, whenever Isgarin was on screen, if I had the choice as a player to go up and press F and ask him some key big lore detail and he brushes me off, just over and over and over again, just he brushes me off and he brushes me off. I'm not asking for voice acting or anything, I just mean in text. Just let the lore nerds ask him and get pushed away by him. I think that plays into the fact that he's an arrogant, you know, oh, I know better than you, like, he's holding us at arm's length. It plays into his character very well, and it would have been really fun, you know? It would have been frustrating in a fun way, but at least I get to indulge in it. The way that the Arenanet have done it, i.e. having done nothing, it just feels weird, you know? It feels weird that I can't ask Isgarin about all this stuff. It feels weird that I can't ask Waiting Sorrow about all this stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, let's jump in here. Ulrich's journal. This once loved journal is now in tatters. Multiple pages are missing. So this is Ulrich of the, you know, this can't be a year old. Judge and I have made the most mystifying discovery. After a quake in the earth, a pathway into the Unseen Ones' grand library was revealed. While Tatiana rested at our camp in the eastern ruins, didn't we read a journal where she died? Judge and I made our way inside the library. While most of the documents are written in a language neither of us... Can I get into the library then if the earthquakes happened? Or did they seal it off? While most of the documents are written in a language neither of us can comprehend... but I have the Heart of the Obscure, which will let me. Some of the less dated tomes were written in Common Crichton, perhaps left for us, mercenaries of divine change. Oh, Saul, we hear you, we see you. Our gods, the Unseen Ones, I have found their name. They were called the Massat. So the modern White Mantle still didn't know their name. The modern White Mantle. Even after all the Flameseeker prophecies and shit finished and we had that crazy civil war in Guild Wars 1. The war in Kryta where there was fucking crazy amounts of them around and lots of evidence that they really existed. And the Shining Blade has been in power for all this time. We still don't actually... We never distributed this information. I feel as if the purpose of this life is unfurled in front of me. This city, their city, houses a gate to another plane. Oh my god, I'm getting real details here. This gate. This is what the Confessor sent me to find. But did he? Did Cordicus actually know this shit? Or was he just winging it? This is how we assure his victory. My efforts are completely shifted to finding a path into the city proper. So I can locate this gate and end the war. I'm confused. What war? I'm confused. Were these guys not here from a year ago? When they just left over, there is no war. But Tatiana grows angrier by the day. In fact, shouldn't we be hearing signs about Cryptis? Wasn't there a thing that the Cryptis were hanging around here? There was a little note about that right at the start of the expansion. Tatiana grows angrier by the day and Judge more solemn. So I continue to encourage them that this is the way. This is our path and we cannot step out of place. Those peaceful days that we shared together were kind, but those days are done. ... I finally found a pathway into the city depths. Another quake revealed the path. It goes down, deep into the mountain. Even I haven't travelled too far yet. It looks treacherous. But my fear is validation. Hold on, this is a city built into a mountain? I never really got the impression that the Seers or the Massat were subterranean. Tatiana and Judge are nervous, but they're more motivated than weeks past, although I struggle to identify whether they're motivated by the Confessor's mission or by wanting to end it. We will spend a few days preparing, and then we march downward. BRSP says, do they mean the Civil War with the White Mantle? I assume so, but see, it's hard for me to get a grip on this, because they first went up there with Cordicus during Season 3, right? Where, yes, there was the war going on, but it ended pretty fucking quick. I guess the idea is they're just isolated the whole time and they just didn't know the whole time. That's mad. Okay, so there is some kind of a dimensional door to another plane. See, I'm thinking Dada made this recently. While Manakaz and Co. kind of failed with their thing, I think she eventually succeeded with hers. Or Orestes or whoever else is there. I think they succeeded and they got out, but they sealed it. I'm thinking more and more that I might have been right with that shot in the dark guess a second ago. Like, it makes sense, right? They wouldn't want these other guys to get out. But then why is the keystone relevant? Where the fuck is that journal? Oh my lord. We gotta find it. Oh, is my coffee already cold? We haven't really done anything. There's another beehive. Do I need to climb up? Was it higher up? I've managed to get lost in a square room. They think Cordicus is still alive. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I guess it is just that they're completely delusional. They got no idea what's actually happening in the real world. They've been up here for too long, isolated. I suppose it's believable. I like to believe that, actually. I don't like this weird version of Tyria that we live in now, where everyone has cell phones and matters of travel take seconds, and this whole thing with the Coden, lowland Coden living right next to Divinity's Reach and yet being quite isolated and not really interacting much. I actually quite like. I think it brings a bit of magic and sort of scale to the setting, which I think it's been losing and losing and losing every patch that goes by. Like, there are these things that Arenanet have implemented into the setting because they're handy. It's handy to be able to communicate with Timey without having to go to Ratasum every time. It's much, much more annoying to write the story if you keep the sense of scale and, But I do think we lose something. So here, I've just fucked up there, really. Let's come back through. What did I do? I came in and I went left. That was it, wasn't it? It was just like over here on this rock. I'm sure it was. I think it must have disappeared, guys. Wasn't it on that rock? I don't want to spend all stream running around this room. People are going to get antsy and want to move on. They're flying bird people. Why would they burrow down? I don't know. I mean, I guess they are somewhat bird-like. And there's, the bird comparisons are made a lot. I've always took that as more of a literary thing than an actual physiological thing. Yes, they fly, but they float, don't they? They don't flap their wing. I don't actually think they are feathered, are they? I mean, they're weird black thingies on their backs. Do you know what? I love the idea that when you get gilded, that's when you get that, that you get the weird black floating drifty thing when the day you get gilded. I know that it's black, not gold, but whatever. It's left from where you entered and then down below on a ledge. It's down, but not all the way down. That's a really good explanation. I'll tell you what. Usually, so hold on. So I entered from here, correct? So I enter. It's down, but not all the way down. Left from where you entered, and then below on a ledge. So this rock was where it was. But again, there's nothing there. I'm sure I saw it was still sitting on the rock after I pressed F on it. What else would be accurate to that description? Going forwards before doing that? Over there, maybe, on that rock? Nope. So I don't relish this in Guild Wars either. It's like if enjoying the story means searching for a needle in a haystack. There are 2 journals in this room, but they only appear when the events are active. And which journal is visible depends on the event. Ah, there you go. That's why it's not here. It's because the event's turned off. Well, that makes sense. Okay, thank you. Brilliant. Amazing information, guys. I guess we'll just move on. Shit, what did it say, though? Basically, it said that the Massart were trying to reopen the gateway, the door, or whatever. They called it a gate, not a door. I don't think we're talking about the door of Kamali at all. We're talking about a new gateway, probably the Data open, and they needed the keystone to do it. Now, I don't know why the Bloodstones... The keystone is to reassemble the Bloodstones, so what on earth... Look, clearly the Massart know about the Bloodstones, and they understand their operation, at least to a certain degree. They were using it in Guild Wars 1 to keep the door shut. They're familiar with these things. The Seers obviously are familiar as well. So maybe it's like through their 1,000 Years War, these two societies stole secrets from one another or something, I don't know. But they clearly know these things. So the question is, what can Isgarin tell me about this, basically? Again. We'll see. Go back and stream and read it from there. I'm sure we'll be there with the event up again before all is over. Yeah, Massart specific journals... told Tied to the side story achievement only show up when certain events are up, so you can't find them all the time. I mean, in principle, I don't think that's a bad gameplay idea. You know, it encourages you to... I mean, it's a bit like what I was talking about with fishing yesterday. It's like you got to get all the timers lined up and everything, a bit of anxiety with it, but yeah, I don't know. Commander, last we spoke, you left me on quite the cliffhanger. I did, I'm sorry.
Didn't mean to cause alarm. I had just caught sight of some glowing wisp.
We stopped the stream and everything.
Upon closer inspection, it was...
Mabon, preserved in memory from his return in the wake of Bovanisos's destruction. Of that much I am certain.
I expected this area to draw out some ghosts of the past, but this...
Not just one, either. We were ambushed by a whole army. One even knows his Garen.
No. You're gone. A vile scourge even among the Mersat. She'll be dealt with.
Well, teach me about her. Not much for peace of mind, but I'll take your word for it. As for Mabon...
We should retrace his path. The city's sealed, regardless. Why not look into it while we have the chance?
Then it's settled. Let's see what other secrets Mabon has left behind.
Yes, this is good. I'm down for more Mabon storyline. Mabon bon bon. Oh, no, I don't want to sit in the chair. But look at this. Hey, I found a journal about the Keystone, and you want to talk to me about that? Ready to go, Commander? On your way out, you'll pass researcher Rin. She'll point you in the right direction. Rin, like the capital?
And Commander, if you find
There is no
anything
more.
noteworthy, check in over comms. Best to stay in contact in a place like this.
You'd love a lore bookshelf in the homestead? Honestly, I would rather... The hero panel has a new thing here that you can click. And it's like a GUI library, you know, you can scroll through it and pop any book that you found. It would be a huge amount of work for them to implement, so it's not going to happen. But I think that would have been a really, really nice solution. I feel weird talking about that because for years I was going on and on and on about how I wanted lore books in the game, and then it happened, and I felt so happy and so listened to, and you know, I really, really, really respect and appreciate it, and I'm very, very happy that it's in the game now. So anytime I'm tempted to say, oh, now I want this, and now I want this, and now I want this, you know, it's like, I don't know. I guess that's what being an advocate for the consumer is sometimes, but it's a bit like never being pleased, isn't it? Poised Arrow, what do you think, Pokey?
So, Mabon was a friend of yours?
For a time.
Yes. He was a member of the Wizard's Court with me, and a very talented mesmer. One of the best I've encountered.
He seemed pretty upset at his people. And himself.
He was from an ancient race with a complex history. The Mersat. They were often at war, with a dragon, with the Seers. His Garen's people.
Ah.
This is good!
Then, for a while, they were trying to keep a door closed. A door to another world, to keep the strangers out of Tyria. But they went about it in an extreme way. Killed a lot of innocent people. And in the end, the strangers won anyway.
Dude!
And they wiped out the Mersat entirely. Except for Mabon. He'd seen the error of their ways long before then.
I see why he was stressed. Seems like a pretty impressive guy, though.
He was.
Bravo! Bravo! That's perfect. This is I've been saying this for the past 2 years with the mini X-Pack, certainly, when they hook into this older stuff. This is exactly the kind of scene I think the game needs a lot of. That was pretty concisely put. It's a good recap of the old events, and you need these recap moments. You know, I talked about this with 14. 14 kind of bags down its story a lot of the time, just recapping. Here's what we know. Here's what we know. Here's what we know. But I think that stuff is really useful, and I think scenes like this are what will slowly pull people into the plot, people that aren't like me, you know, that have been following it for years. That's great. That was a great little sum up. It was there in game. You know what? Pokey is an excellent character to have on screen because he can play the ignoramus. You know, you need the guy that doesn't know what's going on to catalyze a conversation like this. I like that. And we just get Isgarin scoffing. All right, what do you have to say? Anything?
Yugon is an old rival from the height of the Seer-Messad War. Thought herself my equal. I beg to differ. And yes, I killed her myself. It was thorough. That's as much as I'll speak on the matter. War in those days was not for the timid. Makes modern battle look like a child's game. Regardless, not my proudest moment. But I did what was called for. Especially after what she created. Everyone that she killed. The world is better off without her. I stand by that. If only the old crone had stayed dead.
Dude, come on! He's a great character. Look, I really like Isgarin. I think that Arenanet are writing a really, really good character, like a banger level character here. All right. He's not sanitizing anything. There's a presence to him. He's really good. I very, very, very much enjoy him. What I don't enjoy is when they write a scene like that and then they refer to it as melodramatic or whatever. I don't get that. I don't get how all the other characters interact and interpret him. And I know what that's screaming. That's screaming that I'm interpreting it wrong. Sorry, was that filled with drama, guys? Was that overly dramatic? And like, I don't know. I think this. I really like him. I'm so torn on that because they're doing so well with it, and then this episode is peak Isgarin. I'm glad you guys agree. Pokey's our Titus. Yeah, I guess, right? He's got the amnesia. He's that character. And it's important to have, like, that be a third party in this game, because Arenanet don't know who the commander is. They don't know the race or the gender or whatever, obviously. But they don't know who the human is behind the commander. They don't know whether it's WoodenPotatoes playing the game or whether it's a guy that just picked it up 6 months ago, you know. So they can't assume anything, and they shouldn't assume anything, because even though I already knew that information, it was amazing and riveting to hear Waiting Sorry talk about, to hear the modern game using modern characters in a modern setting, actually, you know, refreshing it for us. You know, it's that thing of making things concrete. It's just really satisfying to me. I really, really enjoyed all that. Okay, Anise, what do you think? I think you're going to speak to me in a lovely voice. Is it just me, guys, or is her voice acting like way better in this batch? She sounds a lot more ladylike, doesn't she? The Alliance has been up in arms on how to handle the situation. A new layer of complication is not what we needed. See, listen to that. That was amazing. Ludo and Lady Livia are especially riled. They're pushing for stronger action over research. What that stranger action would amount to, frankly, I'm not sure we're ready to see the consequences. And now Mabon's here, if only in spirit. Still, I hope he can provide some guidance. We could certainly use it. I hope we get something tangible information about why there's all these weird types of ghosts around here. I normally don't envy your work, Commander, but from where I'm standing, I wouldn't mind trading places for a time. Alright, field updates. We get a little achievement. I like it when the game gives me achievements simply for being interested in the story. She sounds the same as always to me. It's subtle. It is subtle. It's only a slight tweak, but it is there for those with a trained ear like myself. You know, it's just from all these years playing the game. And Anise has been a major character for all that. You know, my first character was a human, with the Shining Blade story, no less. You know, so naturally, I'm probably just a little bit more sensitive to it than you guys. Okay, hello, researcher Rin.
Wayfinder. You seem focused, so I won't keep you. Anise said you're off to explore another section of the Isle. Based on my research, some of the Mersat's more infamous figures made their mark in the Isle's southernmost region. Humbly, I'd suggest starting there. But beware. Memories of the past fade far sooner than the scars they leave behind.
Oh, by the way, I didn't even stop to think about what Anise was saying there. I think they're getting at the Scepter of Ore a little bit again. The Scepter of Ore is this expansion's Chekhov's gun, alright? It's there. It's under the table. We're all waiting to see who's going to pick it up and use it. They've successfully added tension when there was not otherwise. So, they're pushing for stronger action. What stronger action would amount to? Frankly, I'm not sure. We need to see the consequences. I'm sure they're talking about the scepter. Okay, so based on my research, some of the Masat's more infamous figures made their mark in the south. I'd suggest starting there, but beware. Memories of the past fade far sooner than the scars they leave behind. Even that was quite eloquent, wasn't it? Alright, let's get out then and... the scepter ore off. Okay, so we'll head on down. I would have loved it if the middle event was going on. See, no, look, there's a flag event in that room right now. Oh no, the next room. Hold on, does that mean though that there might be a document in here that we missed last time? Like up there, look, there's a dusty tome. Wait, I've never been in here. This is the Veiled Library. What is this place? Should I interact with shit now before the event's over? Hunt summons, the Masked Scourge. This is from Archsteward Seltzer. This is your summons. The hunt begins for Isgarin, the Masked Scourge. Oh man, this is... Very few of our enemies remain. But he should not be underestimated. Isgarin gained passage into Bavanissos undetected and killed Yagon in broad daylight. She was among her peers and family, and the assassination was executed at the height of preparations for the ceremony of the Rabbit's Moon. Thus, Isgarin is considered detrimental to Masat vitality. Considered detrimental to Masat vitality? What a phrase. Look at this! We're really getting a look into their culture and life! Oh, okay, bravo! Bravissimo! I really feel like Arenanet sat down and said, okay, we're going to give the players the city. We're going to have to round out what we know about the Masat at the same time. And they really, they thought up some cool shit.
No! Can we help them? I don't know. This has never happened to one of us before. But we've never been able to cure it in the wildlife.
We'll do what we have to.
So we've heard that dialogue over and over and over again. I guess now I have a bit more of the context. There's a mist-burned Coden. Well, fuck that. I'm curious to see if it looks like a bone skinner. No, it doesn't. Okay. As is tradition, the final life breath of the enemy should be gifted to the mate of the victim. What? So they're saying, as is tradition... How do I phrase this? They're saying if I murder you, traditionally they're allowed to bring... basically, it's a bit of a Lagos-y thing, almost. The mate of the victim, so in this case, Yagon's husband, air quotes, he has the right to kill Isgarin now, right? He gets to take Isgarin's final life breath, right? If you're able to locate Isgarin, please bring him to me alive. So, in fact, actually, Archsteward Seltzer is the mate of Yagon. So, Seltzer is Yagon's mate, and Seltzer declares the right to kill Isgarin. So, if Seltzer's still around, they have big motivation here. Thus, Isgarin is considered detrimental to Masat vitality. As is tradition, the final life breath of the enemy should be gifted to the mate of the victim. If you're able to locate Isgarin, please bring him to me alive. Don't kill him. It's my right to kill him. If bringing him back to Bavanissos becomes problematic, killing the enemy may be your only option. Even though the Masked Scourge was exiled by his people, he continues to seek revenge for the death of their leader, Sidoni. If he has the coin of vantage, he will... I actually don't know that word at all. Coin with a G? The coin of vantage. I don't know. Well, what does that mean, guys? Should I go to Google and do a Google definition? Anyone want to teach me in chat? COIGN. If he has the coin of vantage, he will win. Amazing. Oh, I really enjoy reading a document here that explicitly talks about the fact, one, Isgarin was exiled, but two, there was still something of a bond between him and Sidoni. Fuck, I forget what they explained to us about Sidoni in terms of Sidoni's ultimate fate. I forget what was said. And I'm scared to go to the... In moments like this, I'm always scared to go to the wiki because I don't know whether there'll be spoilers for later on in this patch now. Really cool. A coin with a G is a point at which 3 facets of a crystal meet. Really? Would have thought that word would come up at some point in the Arenanet. Oh, there's a ghost! Look, a Massart ghost!
Through wild and storm, behold thy form.
I wish they sounded different.
We are but the remains.
Okay. Okay. It's not printed in the log either. Let's see this tattered book, shall we? The Truth of History. A treatise by Naya Grinvald. What is the... Oh, God, guys. I've just realised we're in a Dermot Priory Library situation, aren't we? Oh, God, strap in. So the year is 984 AE. That puts us about 100 years before Guild Wars 1. So just going into this, racking my brain, what do I know about the 100 years before Guild Wars 1? I mean, Seekers of the Obscure probably has a few things dotted around the timeline there with the Wizard's Court. I don't know. It's like peak Guild Wars, isn't it? It's like the second Guild War is going on, maybe, amongst the humans. I don't really know anything else. I could tell you the races that are around, but let's see what we got. So 984 AE, because Guild Wars 1 is 1070, right? So we're 90 years before that. It has been said by some that the events of the past are built... Sorry, I've lost my place here because I was fighting. Sorry, it has been said by some that events of the past are built upon a foundation of facts as solid as any castle or fortress. But as any student of architectural knowledge can tell you, the foundation of a castle can be found to have cracks or even outright falsehoods spread about the stability of its construction. So too can the bedrock of history be replete with lies, deceptive information, and propaganda. Absolutely. Knowledge for real life here too, guys. It is incumbent upon those who undertake the study of history to continue to apply time-honored methods of critically discerning fact from fiction, even in, perhaps even especially so, texts that are considered sacrosanct by those who currently hold power. It is never enough to simply take the words themselves as factual, without verification and independent corroboration of the evidence, no matter how convincing. Take the stories of our own gods, for example. We know they existed, for their works remain for us to study to this day, and from these works, we can certainly say with confidence that they were incredibly powerful entities. Beyond that, however, what can be independently verified about the story of their arrival upon Tyria, about their involvement in our own origins as humans? There are conflicting reports, conflicting dates, conflicting facts, and little firm evidence to verify any single detail. This book will seek to illuminate the rest of the text is illegible, likely due to water damage. Damn that water damage! Alright, well that's good. And I'm suddenly not... I was regretting a little bit reading so much of the Prophecies journal a minute ago. But no, actually, I think it was, you know... I think just think about that, all that information that we read at the start when looking at that. These books at least don't seem to be tied to the event, which makes me very happy. It's a well-worn journal here. Spectral Agony, Our Undoing. By the way, who was that character that wrote that book? I didn't recognize the name. And it's a human, right? It's a human. Why is there human info in this library? This is a Massart library. Of the many weapons... I'm going to give this one an accent. Not an accent. I'm going to make him nasal.
Of the many weapons within our enemy's arsenal, Spectral Agony continues to prove itself the most dangerous and terrible of them all.
Hold on. I'm gonna kill this fucking thing. What? Whose idea was this then, eh? Alright.
Not only does it inflict the most excruciating pain imaginable without causing a single wound, but it also saps the victim's will to fight against it, crushing down upon them until they can no longer think of anything but the pain. That the Massart would even devise such a spell speaks volumes about their capacity.
The writer of this is not a Massart, it's a seer. Well, is it a seer? Because the seers did learn to defend themselves, but too late, I guess.
That the Massart would even devise such a spell speaks volumes about their capacity for cruelty and savagery, and it gives our people every reason to oppose them at every turn. There can be no reasoning with such beings, no peace that can be brokered when such methods are employed. The Council would do well to heed my call on this matter, even in my... Oh my god, is Garin? The Council will do well to heed my call on this matter, even in my exile, lest we find ourselves grovelling before these foul beings and their ultimate weapon of control. We must act, and act now. There can be no compromise on this.
Is Garin? Yeah, I don't know whether you guys caught it, but in early Jamthiel Wilds, there was a lore document that... early Secrets of the Obscure, there was a lore document that suggested Isgarin was a super nerd in his early life. And that's why I gave him that nasal accent there, so that you could really get into, you know, who he was at the time. Because, you know, we tend to think of these big immortal characters as unchanging or whatever, but, you know, people are always growing. Especially among the seers. So that's why that accent was a good choice and not a terrible one. There's a soiled page here. A pilferer's note. Writing this down in case something happens to me. Scully got word about Scully. Now that sounds, again, oh, I keep thinking things are Norn names. Scully got word about these ruins outside this old abandoned city. No one had reported it before, even though we sailed through these parts once or twice. I don't remember the name now. Scully was always the smart one. The important thing is, he says there's untold riches there, just waiting for someone to discover it. Pirates always get excited over ruins. First, I told him he's full of it, but he was insistent, and he kept going on and on. Something about the look in his eye told me he weren't lying. So, I gathered the rest of the crew. We made it down here, yar, but I'm all that's left. There's all these crazy-looking critters roaming about, looking infected or something. One of those took out Clans, and the spiders, ugh. They scared off Ajay, the coward. Don't know where she went. We found an abandoned camp, probably not abandoned for all that long. Murph says that the clothes look like White Mantle, not my business to judge. Me and Murph, we tried to get out, but something kept pushing us back in. We found some sort of sealed door that looked like it was to some weird glowing statues nearby. Some kind of puzzle. Murph went off to look for clues, but he's been gone a long time. I got a bad feeling. I keep hearing rustling from above. Like something's up in the... And then the spider kills him. Amazing. Do you know what this makes me feel like? I don't remember any of these character names, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of the Eye of the North dungeons like had like a treasure hunting crew for a dungeon and it's these guys or something. So where do we peg this time wise? Well, the White Mantle are mentioned. We found an abandoned camp, probably not abandoned for all that long. This is either really recent, and they're seeing the remains of the Caudicus crew, i.e. this is like the past year, really recent, or we're talking about White Mantle that were in the vicinity way back when, like Saul's Pilgrimage and all that shit, maybe? I don't know. But the city wouldn't have been abandoned at that point. No, so it can't be. I think this has to be really recent, right? This has to be very recent. The city's abandoned, i.e. the Titans have been here and killed all the Massart. But there is a White Mantle camp. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. And what's that setting up exactly? There are lots of cobwebs around this area. Nice little touch there.
Escort duty. Oh, I should be out there crushing titans.
At 3 times your
Oh my
height,
god, he sounds
Hunter,
like
they'd be doing
Joe
the
Swanson from Family Guy.
Not the smaller ones.
Venturi, grant me patience.
That's his name, isn't it? Joe Swanson? Peter's neighbour in the wheelchair, the military guy? Or cop? I can't remember. Journal of Overseer Atticus. Oh god, it just keeps coming, doesn't it? Sorry, I'm looking at chat here again now, guys. I'm really sorry if I'm missing messages here. Look, can I just say to people watching this, I love having the chat active. I love that you guys are talking. I will try to catch what you're saying. If I miss something you say, just post it again. I really don't mind. You're not going to upset me. Banjo says, I don't see any Janthea Wilds mentions on Sidoni's wiki page. Okay, what does it say that... how did Sidoni die? Do we know that yet? Oh, Patrick Warburton. Is that his name? Everybody likes is Garen, but few know was Garen. Wow. Amazing. It's the Cruciatus Curse. You're right! They do describe spectral agony just like the Cruciatus Curse. You're definitely right there. Wow. So the Masata Death Eaters, are they? I noticed they're doing the spring sale already. And Hogwarts Legacy is on sale today for like £11. I can't believe it. To my mind, that's a AAA game that just came out. And it's like a £60 game or something. They're selling it today for £11. It still wasn't enough for me to buy it, but I played a little bit of it in console, not this summer, but the one before. But yeah, Jesus, got cheap. Anyway, Kamali may very well fall, and if it does, so will Barvanisos. They will come for us. Half of our ranks are ill or enraged by the poison's curse now. Even those we thought tolerant. Every day since Otho returned with the gate, its otherworldly energies have penetrated every corner and every mind. The dead nearly outnumber the living. All of our children, the guildless, they're all gone. All of them. Gone. And then there's Manakaz. He, in absolute desperation, has turned into a being of pure bloodlust. He's now done with the city of Gavril. The White Mantled surrendered all of them to us. I didn't really think of Gavril as a city. I guess it was a city. And now he turns to them, our devout. All blood for the stone. Even though that effort feels far from useful, the gate does not want to be opened, and the keystone is plump from the feast. Wait. Okay, this... I've geeked out about a few of these today, and I've enjoyed them, and I've tried to interpret them. This feels like it has maybe 4 different things in it that are new to me. This is a really, really crazy one. Okay, here's my take, right? The first sentence, Kamali may very well fall, and if it does, so will Barvanisos. They will come for us. Right, I'm thinking Atticus is writing this during the events of Guild Wars 1. I'm thinking Breknar Ironhammer has just taken the Guild Wars 1 hero to the Fire Island chain. And it's looking like... And the Vizier Kilbron is leading the way. It's looking like the door's gonna open. The door of Kamali will break. The Titans are coming. That's what I interpret this first sentence as. Kamali very well may fall, and if it does, so will Barvanisos. They, the strangers, the Titans, they will come for us. Now so if that is genuinely where we are, and I think it is, this next bit is crazy. He says that half of our ranks are ill. I never knew that any Masat were ill during Guild Wars 1's story. Never. Never had any idea that there was any kind of sickness or plague or anything that had diminished or hurt or put any kind of extra pressure on them. I thought that they were generally an okay society, but they had this prophecy over their head. They were desperate to not let come true, and some others wanted to go home, and I thought they were a bit evil or whatever. I didn't think there was anything that was driving them to a particular desperation when they created the White Mantle and so on. But here now, we're getting this new information. As far as I know, this is new information that they were poisoned in some way. There was some sickness running through them that put a lot of pressure on their society and caused them to turn to some of these malevolent acts, perhaps, which I think is an amazing development. I think it's a really cool idea. And it rounds out this story in an interesting way. But that's amazing to me. There's some curse? Some poison? Immediately, I really like that. And that's crazy, because that really is not... That was not in any Ajanthia Wilds up till now, or anything. So they thought some people were poisonous. Now this, it gets even crazier. This is so cool. They talk about some people being tolerant. Okay, I think it's not like a disease. It's not a physical malady. It's an infection of the mind. Listen to this. Every day since Otho returned with the gate. Okay, first of all, the gate can move. This guy Otho found Dada's gate. Okay, here's what I think. I think that Dada successfully... No, but this is like... The timeline's wrong. If this is during Guild Wars 1... Was she that close? Oh, do you know what, guys? They talked about the gods a bit in this patch as well. I wonder if it's not Dada that made this. I wonder if the gods made it. Look, someone, somewhere, somehow made a gate to the Mist. It made a gate to another world. That's what this gate is. And it can move, right? It's a gate to another reality, and you can transport it around. This guy, Otho, found it, brought it to this city, and it started infecting people. We're talking about this poison or whatever. I don't think it's like a physical poison. I think it's infecting their minds. Okay, if it's Dada that made it, and Dada wanted to go home, and home is Nyos, then that's Nyos, like, infecting their minds, you know? That's like the Nyos and, like... does that make sense, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. We're getting into, like, afflicted territory almost a little bit here. I just randomly remember that dwarf's name. What, Breknar Ironhammer? It's Prophecies. There's not that many characters in Prophecies. I reckon I could list them all. Probably. That are in the main story, that have voice lines. There's not many. Do you know what I thought as well was an interesting thing? I could definitely list every single Guild Wars 2 map. Because I thought about this the other day, because this is the Mistburn Barrens, right? Yeah. After the stream the other day, I was like, what's the new map called? Fuck, I can't even remember what it's called. But I thought for a second, it was Mistburn Barrens, yeah. And I sort of realised I can probably just... Like, for some reason, that's just very easy, right? But there's a lot of them now. There's a lot of maps. I feel like you could just go chronologically through in your mind and you could nail them all, like, pretty easily. And I say you. I'm using, like, the royal we there. I really think we all could do that. If you're on a stream like this, you could probably do it. Some people, I think, would get tripped up at places like Ascalon. I tend to always get a bit fiddly with, okay, it's Fields of Ruin, and then Blaze Ridge, and then Iron, and then Fireheart. Like, that, honestly, I think is the hardest, most complicated bit. The rest of it's all very linear, right? It's just, like... I don't know, quite easy to list them all. Anyway, enough humble bragging. Right, so I don't know what's going on with this mind thing, that's cool. This is also cool, so the guildless is just kind of another term for their children, I guess, right? All the children fell victim to this shit. I love this description here. Then there's Manakaz. He, in absolute desperation, has turned to a being of pure bloodlust. He's done with the city of Gavriel. The White Mantle surrendered all of them to us, and now he's turned to them, our devout. All the White Mantle have also been sacrificed. Blood for the stone, even though that effort feels far from useful. The gate does not want to be opened. And the keystone is plump from the feast. I love that description. The keystone is plump from the feast. So they got it. They got the keystone. But they're not using it to reunite the shards of the bloodstone. They're using it to try and open this gate. But the gate is shut and it will not open. So they keep feeding it. They've been siphoning blood into this. So I'm beginning to think if I was wrong about all of this, really, right? Is it a thing like... I'm very confused, but is it a thing where Optimus Caliph was trying to close this? Manakaz was trying to open this, right? They were two different Masat... Like, some of them were harvesting souls and blood for this job in the Maguma jungle. Sorry, I should say there, that's Bloodstone Fen. And these guys were doing this over here. Or whatever, sorry, this here. I don't know, we'll have to play on. Lots of stuff there, lots of juicy stuff, really interesting. Oh, what the fuck? There's like multiple pages here. Wait, no, this is a what? This is a different book now. Eh? What happened? What, did I just have a stroke? How are we reading a different book? I didn't move, did I? What the fuck just happened? Alright, I'm just gonna read it. You know, like when you see like an animal, it's just miraculously offered some food and it doesn't question it. It doesn't, you know, it just eats. It just moves on with its life. It just takes the next shiny distraction and goes. That's what I'm doing here reading this because I do not understand how this changed. But I'm not going to question it because I want to eat. Interrogation log, entry 1. The Jade Sentry, I'm sure it has something to do with the event. Heads up, you'll be back here, will I? Ah. The Jade Sentries have hauled my catch to the Presidio by the Golden Lake. Oh my god, I think I know what this is. Oh no. I was going to say, you know what I've been thinking about in the back of my mind? That Jotun political prisoner that was in the Bastion. Not too far from here, right? I've been wondering if they'll do anything like that in this patch. Or Samurog-esque. I've been wondering. So far, nothing. And here they're talking about a prisoner. Anyway, so the Jade Sentries have hauled my catch to the Presidio by the Golden Lake. The Golden Lake. The prisoner is, as expected, more resistant to standard torture methods, physical and arcane. Seers are already frustratingly dexterous and magically transmutable, but this specimen has undergone something unique. I'm immediately wondering if this is Isgarin that's faked being captured, and this is how he got close enough to assassinate Yugon, but I don't know, I'm probably jumping ahead too much here. I see no point exhausting myself by relying on more taxing methods. Spectral agony would be especially lethal in this one's current state, and I cannot get the information I need if he dies. Yugon would disapprove, I imagine, were she still alive, to harangue my every decision. Oh, never mind, yeah, it's definitely not that. We're somewhere else. Isgarin's already killed her. Entry 2. Attempts to ascertain any remaining seer habitations from the prisoner have been fruitless thus far. I'm just thinking about... So... Well, let's keep reading. From centuries of war, we know that some seers can tap into wells of incredible power, perhaps directly into Tyria itself. Really? Is that like a comment on how they could tap into the Bloodstone to empower themselves, maybe? And other races see that happening and misinterpret it? If I were to uncover those secrets, unlock that kind of power, we can make this world truly ours, dominate the Elder Dragons, and put the memory of Nyos behind us. Do you know what? It's very godlike as well, isn't it? It really feels like a lot of weird seer god collaboration sort of things here. Because when I think about the gods coming to Tyria, you know, they arrived at the Artesian Waters, right? At a great ley line nexus that they would tap into and utilize. If I were to uncover these... He thinks if he can uncover the secrets of the seers, they could make the world theirs. They could dominate the Elder Dragons and put the memory of Nyos behind. Well, why didn't the Seers dominate the Dragons then? This guy must be wrong about that. But anyway. Put the memory of Nyos behind us. Holy fuck. If this is actually a Masat writing this, this is the most tangent. This is it. I mean, we've had the blog post confirming it now, but this is the first time we've heard a Masat actually talking about being from Nyos. What is his memory of Nyos? Entry 3. The prisoner was mostly lucid today. No blackouts from either session. I learned his name, Mazio. And the names of the siblings he lost. One in the valley, another an older sister to an illness long ago. No hint as to where he was from, despite my methods. He's beginning to test the limits of my patience. What I was going to say a minute ago and kind of interrupted myself is I'm wondering if this is one of those seers from prophecies, you know? One of the nameless seers that kind of you meet on the Fire Island chain or helps infuse your armor, so to speak. Entry 4. He started humming between sessions yesterday. Singing, even. The same 4 lines repeated for several days, without end. I'm at a loss as to what to make of this behaviour. Perhaps it's a feeble attempt to goad or irritate me? Sunrise ceruleum, the warmth of a smile. Sandy palms swaying, I'll stay for a while. Spinning and weaving, our magic runs deep. Sunset sienna, the wild weald sleeps. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Oh, let's all just take a moment to enjoy that. Okay, moment's over. No, I genuinely do like that. Didn't the wizards mention drinking from the Golden Lake? Oh my god, you're right. There was something weird about that, wasn't there? Oh my god. Yeah, what was that? A part of their ascension ritual, right? Well, we got a formal name for that as well. What was the formal name for the ascension ritual? Oh, I wonder if this thing, drinking from this lake, losing your memories as a part of the Seer Ascension thing, I wonder if that's a defense against torture at the hands of the Messiah, originally, right? This guy's got no information to give, really, because he's forgotten it all, because he's gone through this thing. It's a way of resisting the Messiah during their war, right? A technique to prevent their agents from divulging too much info. Oh, there you go. Oh, you guys are on point here today. Divishanava. Yeah, that's it. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Turtle says, probably is a reference to how they created the Bloodstone and the Shadowstone, and a hint of how they might attune other people to the magic currents of Tyria to make them immortal wizards. Yeah. The Golden Lake is a part of their enchantations, and there are NPCs near the lake that explain more about it. Wait, I get to go to the lake in the patch, do I? I haven't seen a lake. You wonder if Manik is already way up. RG Fang says, I wonder if Manik has got a Bloodstone madness in his experiments. Yeah, me too. Me too. Turtle says it was an important magic place where the Massart would practice their final rituals for their dead. What, do I learn that in this patch, do I? Are you jumping me ahead a little bit, explaining that? I admit, it was a welcome reprieve from his usual screams. Yeah, the Golden Lake would seem to be more of a Massart thing than a Seer thing. Yeah, you're right. It was a welcome reprieve from his usual screams. Entry 5. Weeks. The singing has not stopped. My assistant has asked for his corpse when I inevitably break. He thinks he can divine what I cannot from a corpse. The exquisite arrogance of his suggestion. Regardless, I will press on. Wow, so what happened to Mazio here? Do you know what I really love? We're getting a billion names. It really helps me to feel like there's a... You know, it's one thing to not talk very definitively and just sort of hand gesture at a big civilization or whatever, but to give lots of little names all over the place. Yeah, it's complicated and confusing to hold them all in your head or really get a grip on them, but it creates like a more tangible sense of what's going on. Oh, here, I see. There was a book and a journal. The journal's reappeared now. We were sitting here for so long that the events come back. So an interrogation log there. Oh.
There's something weird. This world between is ours.
Oh, he's talking about like the Shadow World, right? He's talking about like Shadowcraft. Can I just ask in chat? You guys have played this, I presume. How do you guys have a good grip on all of this? Or are you just as lost as me, even having read everything and played through the main story?
Lured them into a pit and filled it with spectral agony. Yuck.
Mersat got what was coming to him, at least.
Oh wow, they just filled a pit with spectral. I never really thought of spectral agony as like a tangible thing, like a juice that you could swim in or could linger in the air. It's much cooler like that, though. It's way cooler as a more physical element of the world. No, that's what you're for. Well, don't expect much. I feel like we've had too many X-Packs of me being like, In fact, yeah, one of the kind of negative comments I woke up to yesterday about this patch was someone, I think the description was mystery boxes all the way down. And, you know, I'm a little bit nervy of stuff like that, especially having sat through Carlton Cuse and Damon Lindelof writing Lost. So, yeah. It's scary, Arenanet explaining the fabric of Tyria and the oldest lore. I think so. I'm really captivated by all of this so far. Some sort of miasma makes you wonder how the Massart inflicted. Is it Massart farts? Turtle says, I feel like I got a grasp of the core plot, but all this side lore is very interesting, but it's a lot to take in, so definitely kind of lost. Must be a good time to be on the forums, honestly, discussing lore. As long as the vibe is right. I feel like the vibe is often a bit icky over there, but, you know. The ceremony of passing will be held in 3 moons to honour the death of Yagon. Look at this. See, we hear about all their ceremonies and stuff. Yagon was the best of our minds. Her work birthing spectral agony into Tyria. Oh, okay. Like, Isgarin just explained to us that she fucking that she was terrible. She was a nasty piece of work. She invented spectral agony. Yeah, she's pretty bad. Her work birthing spectral agony into Tyria, the final plague of the seers, won our millennia-old war when she used it to ambush and kill the so-called immortal leader. I love... oh, fuck me, we're getting slammed with info here. I love that they just describe it as millennia-old there as well. And keep... Because I liked it when it was this big, epic, really long-term thing, and they're sticking with that. They're not diminishing that. But hold on, she ambushed... Oh, this is how Sidoni died. We didn't know it, but we do now. With the death of our enemy Sidoni, and the last of the major seer ranks, Yagon granted us a sterling victory. Wow. So Isgarin, already exiled at this point, sees it happened, and he goes on a quest for vengeance. Awesome. Really awesome. Yagon was killed 2 dawns past. Her ceremony will be hosted by the Archsteward Celsa, who was her mate we found from the other thing, at the edge of the Golden Lake. The ceremony will begin at dusk and will endure until the smoke of her offering table turns red. The smoke of her offering table. All will be forbidden to speak for the duration of the following sunrise until sundown. Oh, that's really good as well. That a part of like their culture or their rites is like a vow of silence for a while. Because when I think about the Massart at their most malicious and captivating and exciting, it's them creepily floating there, invisible, saying nothing, just watching. There's something about silence with the Massart that is just brilliant, isn't it? It's a great pairing with that race. And here, Arenanet, like, totally get that, and they've fucking written it into their culture a bit there. That's so cool. This has been a brilliant document because it's actually provided clarity on a few things. This has connected, like, 4 different things from other documents together in a tangible way that I understand, right? Like, I read this and I understand that person's their mate, and I understand, you know, the spectral agony part of it, and that who Sidoni was, and Isgarin had killed them. It's very good. We've even read a bit about the Golden Lake, and that appears here again. This is great. This is like it's like if you imagine these as all different puzzle pieces. This is a nice central puzzle piece here that connected to at least 4 other ones. Satisfying. Oh my fucking god. I still don't really have a clue what they're talking about with the Mistburn. Is the Mistburn the plague? Oh, it is. It definitely is. It's the Mistburn. That's what it is, guys.
Hey, Lauren, take a look at this one.
What is it? A battle between the Seers and the Massart? Here? In Genthir?
Probably at the height of the war. Must have been way before the Titans turned this place into a heap of spare parts.
What is... make it stop!
this thing about... I'm trying to go back to this door
This
here.
has never happened to one of us before, but we've never been able to cure it in the wildlife.
And we'll do what we have to.
This, where they were talking about everyone being sick. Half of our ranks are ill or enraged by the poison's curse, even though we thought we were tolerant. Ever since the day Otho returned with the gate, its otherworldly energies have penetrated every corner and every mind. And the dead nearly outnumber the living. They're getting mist-burned. They're going crazy, just like these wolves are, right here, in this room. This is it. The Massat didn't call it mist-burn, or at least in that journal they didn't. But I think that's the connection to what's happening now. And I think that people are getting more mist-burned right now because they're getting closer to the door. I'm just trying to think in terms of, like, other areas of Guild Wars lore madness from being close to the mists or in the mist. It feels a little familiar, maybe, but I can't really think of any great connections. Jesus, players are getting fucked up here. It would be nice to actually do a bit of gameplay here. And I like this idea that, yeah, they have this other issue, this domestic problem that put that extra pressure on them right before the Titan crisis. That all works well for me. Heathen says, not gonna lie, as someone who didn't play Guild Wars 1, everything about the Massat falls really flat for you. It's funny to hear you say that, though, as well. It's very difficult for me to respond to that because I don't have the perspective. But knowing Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 1 is not that big and not that complicated, and there's really not that much you're missing out on. You know, it's like to say this entire story falls flat for me because I didn't have, like, the first 2 seconds of it. You know, like... You're not really... I don't think it's that you didn't play Guild Wars 1. I think it's that it's just not landing because it's too complicated, or I don't know. Like, I think you feel like an outsider to the story where you ought not feel like an outsider to the story because you're not missing that much. As far as Guild Wars 1's concerned, the Massat only play a big role in prophecies, and the vast majority of prophecies... Well, not the vast majority, but the first half of prophecies... They're like not even in it.
A mercy at this point.
It's all Ascalon stuff and Shiverpeak stuff.
And we'll use what we learned.
And even with the Crystal Desert and Glint, I wouldn't say it's really Massat stuff. It's only really the Crichton arc, the Maguma arc, and the Blood and the Fire Island Chain arc. And when I say an arc, there's very little dialogue or stories in these, even side quests and things. You haven't missed that much. There's a little bit in Eye of the North as well, but. Have I gone over my build in one of these Janthir Wilds episodes? What do you mean build? What, the gameplay build? You know, like, I have lots of different builds that I play. Mostly the builds I've been playing lately is not this. This is my kind of running around open world, roamy, sort of just brain off, hit things build. But usually I don't play this. I'm playing this on stream because I can keep thinking about lore and talking to you guys in chat without really thinking about what's going on. And I know it has just, like, really high quality of life. It'll break any break bar, it'll regen out of anything, it's fine, right? Like, I'm not going to die or struggle or whatever. But usually I've actually been playing mostly Tempest, Overload Tempest, just because it's so strong. I'm actually still playing it Scepter Warhorn as well at the moment, even though I know the newest patch kind of put a lot more emphasis on daggers, because of course it did, with the fire grab. Or I play a lot of Rev usually as well, actually. And like I say, looking at Guardian a bit more as well. Let's go over to this pamphlet. A propaganda pamphlet. Massat propaganda, eh? Bavanisos, a marvel. Bavanisos stands as the grandest city in all of Tyria. It's propaganda, right? But I like to think that it's true, or at least comparable to what the modern races did. Holbrak is epic. Divinity's Reach is epic. Ratasum is epic. They're fucking cool places, right? And to think of Bavanisos as equivalent to these, greater than these, you know, more ancient than any of them. And it is thanks to our benevolent and uncompromising vision of a grand future, with the Massat as the rightful shepherds of this land and its denizens. Though the other intelligent races of our world have contributed to the development of this world, in their own small ways, It is only the gracious charity and industriousness of the Masat that has ensured such a place could be built. It shines out as an example to all beings with eyes to see that with faith and steadfastness in the glory of the Masat as the driving force interior, all things may fall within our grasp. Really ironic that this is a hidden city as far as modern history is concerned, and a city that no one knows anything about, relegated to the back rooms.
Our thoughts still vast, from far-flung past, never to see the stars.
Oh my god, beautiful. That was really good. Oh my god, I liked that. That's why you hope Bavanisos had a budget for new assets at Outward Ones. Look, we can't get into another conversation with that, but I think at the end of the day, guys, look at these mini X-Backs for what they are in terms of there's not that many new assets. They're doing what they can, and the reality is most of their work and most of their efforts and budget is clearly going onto a Guild Wars 3-esque product. Like, there's just nothing. And I have to say, I pretty much agree with that. I mean, it's a huge conversation, isn't it? But yeah, so, I mean, obviously I'll be excited about the more new assets, the better. And the areas of lore that I love, I want to see be done in the biggest, grandest ways possible. But, you know, my expectations are based in sort of the reality of, look, they're clearly making something else. Lock and Key by Archivist Orestes. After the obliteration of Aparvim near the start of the war, and our decisive victory... Is Aparvim the name of a great seer city? Because we really still don't get much about them, do we? After the obliteration of Aparvim near the start of the war, and our decisive victory in the Valley of Agony centuries later, our remaining luminaries... I love that, luminaries, whether the Silvari use this. So, wait, no, am I confusing myself? The Exalted? And elders reconvened in Janthir, near the Golden Lake. They discussed suitable locations to break ground on a new city. No, I guess Aparvim is a previous city. Oh, this is juicy. Look at this history we're getting. First there was Aparvim. They lost it. They won a big fight centuries later, though, and they decided, let's make a new place. We reconvened in Janthir, near the Golden Lake. They discussed suitable locations to break ground on a new city, a fresh start, free from tyrannical oversight of the seers. The tyrannical oversight of the seers. Oh, I'm so ready to hear more about what the seers did to piss them off. It did not take long for the gathered hosts to realize that our best option was beneath our very talons. It was in Janthir. We had long maintained an outpost at the lake. Its enchanted waters were well suited for the crafting of our scrying eyes. The eyes of Janthir! They're made of the Golden Lake, guys! Oh my god! And other spellcraft, as our ancestors in Nyos would do. Wow! Its enchanted waters were well suited for the crafting of our scrying eyes and other spellcraft, as our ancestors in Nyos would do. So Nyos had a Golden Lake of sorts? Its importance made it a prime strategic target for the seers. One Yagon exploited to set our final trap. This is how they killed Sidoni, I guess. The city of Bavanisos then rose from the end of a dark and bloody chapter. It was a renewed promise to those of us who still sought a way home. A future gateway to the worlds beyond, and a citadel dedicated to unfettered research. In the next section, I will discuss the city's decline, the growing obsession with bloodstone research, and its disturbing application, and how the war left several generations of our gilded and even some of the older generations vulnerable to the superstitious ramblings of a cast-off dragon spawn. Please don't attack me, Juan. Hold the fucking phone. So they're talking about Glint at the end here. So Orestes is saying, fuck the Flameseeker prophecies. They don't matter. Ignore Glint. She's superstitious. She's rambling. She's one of the dragon spawn. Ignore her. Don't throw everything away over the Flameseeker prophecies. And Orestes is actually right. I mean, they're all right, really. If they had ignored her, the Flameseeker prophecies would not have come true. But she made the prophecy knowing they wouldn't ignore her, and it would come true. Beautiful. Oh, I love it. It's a good. There's a good little bit of fantasy storytelling there. You know, in MMOs, you tend to have like 1,000 stories bundled together, but there is something really, really good in there. Oh, that one's very good.
Illuminating. Most illuminating.
Oh god, I really love some of it. It's like they're being written as, you know, they're not. I'm enjoying the fact that they're not cartoonish idiots. You know, it really feels like, you know, a city with people with different opinions and feelings in there. And so they won the war by baiting the Seers to the lake, and fucked up Sidoni with Spectral Agni. Was that what won the war? I guess. And they were like, okay, let's build a city here. Hey WP, completely off topic, but Wizardry, Proving Ground of the Mad Overlord, is on a Steam sale. Any chance you'll do a kind of Grimrock continuation series with that? I've never heard of that game. You're not going to tell me it's from the same guys that did Grimrock, are you? And Druidstone. There's no way, right? As far as I knew, they weren't working together anymore. They viewed game development as a bit like, you know, mates in a band. They did an album or two and then they split up. That was the impression I got. And, you know, it's one of those things where you can kind of feel behind the scenes they probably didn't enjoy working with one or two of the guys or whatever. No, it's a different... Is it just is it a blobber RPG? Is it a similar sort of... I mean, look, I'll have a look at it. It seems interesting. I have a very long list of things I want to do.
I should be out there crushing titans.
Oh, we already heard
At 3 times your height.
the Family Guy. I'll have a look at it, and maybe, yeah. Listen, as soon as this move's done, I'm very excited to get a bunch of things underway. I've been dawdling on certain things for a long time, and yeah. So it's a remake of an old game. Well, I'll check it out. Very, very classic dungeon crawler. Okay. Lock and Key. This is also by Orestes. After the obliteration of... Oh, we already read that. We already read it. Interesting that one's called Lock and Key. There's some Masart obsidian down there. I like how we finished half of the heart already, and all I've done is hit random mobs in an attempt to leave me alone while I'm reading. That's all we've done. Yeah, it's exactly, Ashley. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Did we read this Dusty Tome? The problem is I haven't done this, like, cleverly at all. I've just wandered around.
Let's get underway.
So, this is the Hunt Summons. We did read this. This was the first one we read. This was about how they're hunting down Isgarin because he assassinated... Also, he's called the Mask Scourge. What do we think about that, chat? Isgarin is known as the Mask Scourge to the Masart? What does that mean, exactly? The Mask Scourge? Because I really don't have a clue. The Mask Scourge. So yeah, who the hell is Nea Grinvald? Why is there a random book in here from 984 AE? My vibe with Nea Grinvald, right? The impression I'm getting here is this is a person who visited Barvanisos. Hold on. Is that working? Ah, why don't you work? There we go. Wait, this is MS Paint. Here's what I'm thinking, right? Oh, actually, as well. Hold on. Let me get somewhere safe in game before I get attacked. Okay. I'm thinking it's like... How does this work? I use paint.net mostly. Can we have a thick brush somewhere, somehow? This. Yeah. I thought there was a, like, thickness. I thought I could define thickness. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, I think it's like... Okay, the war ends here, okay? Because Sidoni gets assassinated. Then Isgarin goes rogue and kills Sidoni. Kills Yagon. And now they build the city, right? So the Massat are prospering now, basically. I don't know what year the war ended, alright? I don't know when that was exactly. Or largely ended, but most seers are wiped out at this point. So you now have like a long period where, in theory, the Massat are alright in Barvanisos. They're okay here. And you've got some of those journals there where they're talking about prosperity and, you know, like being, you know, leading the world and all this kind of shit, right? They are not sick with the Mistburn. The gate hasn't been brought here. They don't have that poison or whatever. And they're slowly, over time, becoming fanatical about the Titans. Slowly. But mostly, and, you know, eventually that will be their downfall. But it's kind of an okay period here for the Massat. Now, I'm thinking that this period comes up to about 100 years before Guild Wars 1. I'm thinking this is just a human that visited Barvanisos, like, not in, like, an abducted, creepy, crazy way or something, but in just, this person is basically Saul D'Alessio 1.0. I'm thinking this what's their name? Oh, I'm not the thing anymore. Whoever that was, Nia Grimvald or whatever her name is. I'm thinking she's a human. This is 100 years before any of the Saul stuff. It's enough to have passed out of living memory. She came to the city, and the Massat were like, yeah. And she was like, oh, the god made the world. And they were like, no, they didn't. And she was like, oh, the gods made the Bloodstone. And the Massat were like, no, they didn't. And she was like, oh, and the gods did this. And the Massat said, no, they didn't. So she's like, oh my god, I need to write a treatise on this. So she starts writing. She's like, oh, history is fake, blah, 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 fake news, blah, 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 blah. And she's going to write the book. Or she did write the book. She stayed with them and she wrote the book. But for some reason, she never got back. Or, you know, she was shut down by the powers that be or whatever. And she never escaped. Maybe something nefarious did happen. But basically what I'm saying is that there might have been sort of a reasonable age before the creepy abductions and slaughter and all that stuff. And things got too fanatical. There was a period and she visited. That's my guess on that little element there, maybe. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? There's nothing broken about that. There's no reason why Orestes and co. There wasn't a period of some stability immediately following the war. Sorry, we were listening to the waypoint the entire time there. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing now. I mean, Christ, should we continue the main story? I don't even know if I fully scoured that whole room. In fact, I will tell you guys a little something. I logged in yesterday and I did browse the achievements and I saw there is a big lore achievement here for a bunch of interactables. And I'm wondering if I was doing that. I don't know whether I was, actually. Oh, God. Mistburn Barons. Jesus, I wasn't. I think there's a whole other library or something for us to find, guys. Xanthia Side Stories, maybe it was, actually? No. Ah, here we go. We're doing okay. So, we've missed one of the White Mantle journals. Here you go. This is what I looked at. Scouring the archive. And we have done some. We've read the book in the library. And we've read the book in the lower area of the Nexus of Midnight. But what about the one in the upper area? How? What? We've done nothing but read books in there. How have I only found 2? The Veiled Library. That's crazy. No way. Is it because of the whole thing where the events have to be going or something? There's an achievement you're really excited for me to see eventually. Really? Ooh. This update really fleshes out the start. It's kind of impressive. I think so too. So far, yeah. Look, it comes with all the downsides of being, you know, needle in a haystack, optional lore that is just plain text, right? I get it. I get it. We all wish we were playing some beautiful cinematic, fully voice-acted, single-player experience every 3 months. But at the end of the day, the information's there.
Take a look at this one.
What is it? A battle between the Seers and the Mersa?
This guy seems so out of touch.
In Genthir?
Probably at the height of the war. Must have been way before the Titans turned this place into a heap of spare parts.
I love that. He calls himself a researcher. He looks horrendously out of touch, though. That's like one of the base. We knew that before we even got into the patch, mate. I mean, come on. Right, and we read this because I remember standing near these guys. Yeah, at the ceremony of passing. So, I mean, what do? Climb up, maybe? Hey, Cogra, thank you for the memberships. Thanks, guys. So I've been up here before. I've been high up in the library. I didn't realize that's what it was at the time. So what if I keep going up? Like all the way up there, for example. What? Maybe we just explore this for a second? There's so many like jade walls blocking everything off. Is this expected of me? Some Masat obsidian really high. But see, that's inside one of the mirror things. I need to find a mirror to be able to go into that. So I can't interact with those. I think we're a bit out of touch here. We're not going to get anything, are we? Oh my god. It's crazy seeing the entrance of the city there like that. What I might do, guys, is I can look for some of the books and things. If we can't find them, it's like, don't feel too bad about it, because we can refer to the wiki as information gets compiled there. And again, everyone that supports the wiki and does stuff on the wiki, they're all legends. They make the game playable. We can just sort of slowly work our way towards that. Let's read this. Yeah, what is this? Ah, this is the Mistburn. Ah, it's the Mistburn messing with these guys. This is the madness. Tatiana isn't mad. We all heard it this time. It told us where to find the gate. Perhaps it is the unseen ones that guide us, but we will venture inside tomorrow. We will complete Cordicus's mission, and the world will see. They will all see. A dark brown stain is splashed across the bottom of the page. The rest of the script is illegible. So either those guys made it through the gate. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. The gate goes back to... I have a theory about what this is, but it's lame as fuck, and it kind of just doesn't turn this story into anything. You could say this, guys, right? That gate that they found to go home to Nyos, the Masat brought it here, and the people that were near it started going crazy. Their minds started getting infected by demons on the other side, because Nyos is a shithole now. And essentially, it's just that's the work of Eparch and the Cryptists. They're just demons. They're just mist demons and the various houses there. And they got into the heads of the Masat and contributed to the destruction of their society. These white mantle patsies, they came up here as well. And they got influenced by the voices. They're saying there's a voice that's telling them. But it's just a demon from Nyos. A demon that we already dealt with, and we already explored Nyos, and it's already finished. Do you see? That's such an anticlimax. That story I just said there, I think it works, but it goes out like it's just a fart of a story, isn't it? It's just, oh, well, that's nothing. So then what do we say? What is this thing influenced? Is it not a door to Nyos at all? Is it a door to somewhere else? I mean, if you think about the current story with the rifts and all this stuff, it's just kind of, you know, extraterrian issues. Is it a Titan back there? We're not talking about Nyos. It's the Foundry, or it's another Foundry. It's something to do with the Strangers, I guess. Yes, there's the idea that it's Abaddon, or so. Let's not go there. It can't just be that it's Nyos and the Cryptis, because it weirdly just kind of, you know, it circles us back to. What do? We go to Nyos and say, "Hey, Pather, what's going on?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, we don't do that anymore." Roll credits. Monster Girl ASMR said, yes, this one's tied to events. They only appear during the event. I believe all are called Tattered Journal. So you run past a few thinking that you already read it. I gotcha. So when an event is up in here, there are things called Tattered Journals, and I need to read them. Oh, God. I don't want to read lore on a timer. Ah, okay. That's not what Pather sounds like. Yeah, it's another Quaggan voice. Sorry, Pather. I know your Quaggan voice is a big part of your identity, and I shouldn't have been so flippant about it there.
It's okay. I'm the Mistburn. It's all right now.
God, that was shit, man. Oh, God. The Pather stuff was such a blemish on Secrets of the Obscure to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to not be so diplomatic about this, but I really, really cannot believe how shit the Pather stuff turned out. Oh, is she going to betray us? Oh, is she going to betray us? Oh, is she going to betray... No. Roll credits. Wow. That was gripping. It's basically my flash review of Secrets of the Obscure for you guys there. Screenshot on read later. I guess, yeah, we can use tools to help us play the game. The Unseen Passage. Okay, I'm going to go do the story now. We're going to work our way towards the story. She did betray her brother and master. True, yeah, the cartoonishly evil guys. I think I remember that.
Your construct
riveting.
Is flawed,
honestly, I really think that is such a low light all-time Guild Wars history, and that's going up against like Aurene and like what they did to Suwon.
Yeah.
Elder Dragon Mummy arc. That's going up against Dragonstorm. Oh.
Hey, you! Excuse me. I could really use some help over here.
Okay, I love his voice. He's amazing. Researcher Vix. Of course, my golem has issues right when I need it. I can't gather the samples and maintain it at the same time. I could gather the samples for you while you tinker with your golem.
Just toss me any shards you can and I'll sort them out. But don't get zapped!
Okay, what am I doing? I need to go to a bloodstone pile. And now I have diminished bloodstone, and I just need to throw it to Vix.
It's a little cracked, but aren't we all?
Oh, that's good. Yes, aren't we all? Oh my god, this has got amazing range.
Nice one.
5k range. We have 2 achievements here. Pro Scavenger and Be Free Little Bot. I don't know what either of those are.
Oh, nice one.
Whoa! They all on the floor? I assume some are high up. My contribution is 3 out of 8. Is that for silver? Have I already qualified for bronze? With 3 minutes left on the clock.
Oh, nice one.
I don't want to go into the updraft just yet. Let's clear the bottom floor, I suppose. Oh, also, I noticed it's got a stacking. It's got a 1 there, so I guess I can pick up multiple at once. Can I pick up multiple at once? No, I can't. Interesting, though, that it does look like it's got ammo on it, and you could do that. Gold is the tricky part. Yeah, I assume this is going to be one of those ones where you want to map out a route in advance. Did I miss that? I might have missed that. No?
I think I better isolate this one.
What are the little floaty things? They're trying to zap me. The red floaty things in the area? And if they touch me, I'm screwed? But look at them there. They're creating tethers to me every now and then. Oh, we got to go double for gold. Yeah, 16. That does look like that's going to be quite tricky. I'm definitely not going to get that in 90 seconds. Let's burn beehive there. I guess there's going to be like throwing angles, right? Like here, I'll probably get it. Did that count or did that hit the crossbeam? I think it hit the crossbeam. But they've given us 5k range, so we want to use it, really. As always, guys, you could just wait and get Boots' video on it. There we go.
I think I better isolate this one.
Well, I'm pretty much resigned to just getting silver here, so I don't have too much get up and go for collecting the last ones. But we can explore the area. Snap to target is really helpful with the gold. Oh, that's a really good little tip there. That's a good point, yeah. Because it will snap to him, won't it? Wherever he is down there. Oh, he was there. I went over him. Good stuff indeed. Yeah, that was a big tip. For gold, going down is kind of bad. Yeah, I assume for gold, what you want to do is you want to climb to the top and stay up there for all the collections. Find where all the things are, and then find angles. Get a mastery point. Find you know, good angles for throwing to him, and then just work your way down. So overall, your whole route is just once up and once down. You'd have epic time savings on that for sure. So what are we doing? We're looking for Mabon's next memory wisp. We'll see what he thinks. Did Mabon talk about arresters in the last episode? I can't remember. Oh, we get these nice red lights here. You played Secrets of the Obscure earlier today, and the scene where she appears when she fights Ceres at the end of Secrets of the Obscure itself was really badass. It was really good. Yeah, that is a good scene. I agree with you. I played that recently as well, again, while I was getting all the achievements. I needed to, like, see each of Ceres's mechanics or something in that story fight. I agree, that's good. A lot of it was good. As I was saying, the whole way through that Secrets of the Obscure arc, it's like, okay, if this ends in the right way, this is all amazing. This is all really cool and full of meaning, and it's a very, very exciting thing they've done. If it ends in the right way, and it just so did not, and it just turned out to be like the well, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. Drag the whole stream down, but yeah, I do think it had its moments, and the whole thing could have been brilliant as well. If the whole arc was about showing the commander's naivety, and you know, that sometimes it's wrong to be so quick to trust. If we were going to tell a slightly more nuanced and less friendly story, frankly, I think that would have been that would have done something that Guild Wars doesn't usually do, and it would have offered something, you know, and they could have offered. They were so close to it, but the way they resolved the story was basically just to say, no, we're not doing anything like that. We don't like nuance. We don't like complicated issues. We're just gonna tell people it's good
Wisp
to.
Spotted. It's hovering near a bloodstone.
But we'll see.
Try the Heart of the Obscure again.
That didn't work out so well last time.
Hear me out. Given their proximity to the city, these shards were likely drained long ago. Between the Titans and the Mersat exhausting them, it's unlikely they're volatile. Hopefully.
We'll see. I mean, it's not all over. They could still have plans for Pather. I mean, the other ugly bit about it is Pather is the exact same story as Desmina now as well. You know, We'll see what they do with either of them now that they have some control, and we'll see whether, you know, we really have put the issue to bed or not. Let's see. I didn't really pay attention to Waiting Sorry there, sorry. We're spotted. If it's hovering near a bloodstone, you could try the Heart of the Obscure again. That didn't work so well last time, we say. Yeah, because all the ghosts swarmed us. And then Waiting Sorry said, hear me out. Given the proximity to the city, these shards were likely drained... Oh, yeah, no, and it blew up, didn't it? Were likely drained long ago. Between the Titans and the Messiah exhausting them, it's unlikely they're volatile.
Bloodstone.
Hopefully. Alright. So what are we neutralizing?
A letter. Unexpected. But better than the alternative.
Sorry, what? I revealed a bloodstone letter?
You were right. The heart didn't cause an explosion, but it did yield... a letter.
What?
To Manakaz. Sounds like the Mersat ramped up their sacrifices right before the door of Kamali opened.
Plenty of good that did them. Well, I'd keep watch for more wisps. Trust Mabon to guide you.
Cool, let's read this. I like it. It's so much better when it's in the main story, though, you know, when you get some of this. So, Manakaz. Who's writing this? Mercy. Mercy of the Smug! Holy shit, cool. I don't know if she ever had any dialogue. She just sort of stood there. Menacingly. Manakaz. Lazarus tells me you are now solely in charge of the Sanguine Crater site. Sanguine Crater. I will not waste my time with congratulations. You and I both know you wish to be here at the door of Kamali. Our forces in the Shiver Peaks have been routed by the Shining Blade, the Deljamor, and their allies. Wow, this is cool. This is right in there, guys. This is right in there. In the Guild Wars 1 prophecies stuff. Our forces in the Shiver Peaks have been routed by the Shining Blade, the Deljamor, and their allies. Some of our own have even noted that they resist our spectral magic. They do. We've discovered the art of infusion. Secrets that were supposed to have died with the Seers. The Massart don't know that a couple of Seers were still lingering around beyond Isgarin, I guess. I don't know. We are struggling to keep the soul batteries replenished. I suspect the forces beyond the door are working their end with increased intensity, which is why I'm writing to you. Our sacrifices at Bloodstone Fen and here have not been enough. One of my little mice in the grass tells me you are... So Mercia is a spy? One of my little mice in the grass tells me you are researching a potential connection between bloodstones. An easier way to transport souls betwixt shards. Should this be true, then consider this next statement an official directive. You're to commence with further sacrifices, starting with the remaining humans and Coden. Once they're gone, begin to round up our dissidents, the insane and the weak. They will have the privilege of serving the cause. If you do this, Lazarus and I will see that your discovery is lauded for centuries. Be prepared to transfer the souls to the Kamali site. Do not fail us. This is amazingly cool. How often as I've been playing through this have I been asking, like, okay, where did the souls go from? The Bloodstone souls were definitely being shipped here. We know that from Guild Wars 1. Right, we know that. Oh my god, why can't I draw? Hello? There you go. We know that this was a thing. But, like, what were they sacrificing? Was the Sanguine Crater being used? Like, I was constantly thinking about and wondering about the transportation of them and stuff. Here, they're kind of getting into it. They're saying, actually, they were just going to try and directly If you die on one bloodstone, your soul can immediately be plucked out at another. Like, they're almost transportation devices, I guess. Because I was wondering, with the blog post revealing this patch, where they talked about Shadowcraft and this sub-dimension that they moved through, I was thinking, oh, maybe they transported the souls through that. Maybe we'll see evidence of that. But so far, actually, in-game, they haven't really talked about Shadowcraft, have they? Is this the start of it, maybe? This is great here. So at the start, they're saying, we know that you really wanted to be here. In yesterday's episode, they were talking all about how Manakaz was very uppity and stuff. We actually heard that direct correspondence between Lazarus and Manakaz, didn't we? It's just so cool to hear them speaking very directly about all the little bits and pieces that were happening in Prophecies. The fact they even mentioned the Deljamore. We're struggling to keep the batteries replenished. I suspect forces beyond the door. It's interesting they don't say Titans. They just say forces beyond the door. Did the Mossad know it was Titans coming to get them, or did they just think it was... But also, look at this as well, right? I mean, the big ticket item here. First, they were sacrificing randoms at Gavriel, just humans, and Coden that were just there in the way. They had their fanatical White Mantle. Eventually, they started sacrificing the White Mantle in their fervor. They started sacrificing... These people were... They're pawns, they were pious, they believed in them. They started sacrificing the White Mantle themselves. They needed the souls. And here we find they even started sacrificing their own. People who had gone insane from the poison, or as I'm predicting, the Mistburn. Dissidents, people like Orestes. And the weak. They're just cannibalizing all their allies, just turning on, you know, at every level, right? The hysteria gets crazier and crazier. And contributes to their ultimate downfall. When the Titans do get out, despite all of that, what have they got left? This is really... I'm enjoying this because they talk about all this Guild Wars 1 stuff, which makes it feel very connected to Guild Wars 1. And then they talk very much about this new stuff this patch has been talking about with the sickness and the illness, and it kind of all comes together very coherently. Be prepared to transfer the souls to the Kamali site. Do not fail us. Wow. What a good one. And that's main story. Everyone's going to read that. That's not just for, like, lore nerds to geek out about. I hope people read that and enjoyed it. I'm scared they didn't, seeing some of my comments recently. I'm scared people just sort of thought, meh.
Another drained one over here. Oh, yeah? Ah, pretty big, too. Think it was the Titans? Must have been. Probably exited the city and went east. Then moved south when they smelled the bloodstone.
This is super cool. The Seers built the Bloodstones. They knew the Bloodstones. They understood their limitations. The Mossad wiped the Seers out and then started fucking with stuff they didn't understand. They brought all this Bloodstone here. They started messing with it. They were pumping up, getting the Keystone all fat. They were doing all of this, and it brought about their downfall. It just put a massive target over their backs. God. You know, earlier in the stream where we read that thing, and the Mossad was saying, oh, we could rule the world with this. And I said, well, why didn't the Seers rule the world with it then? I think that's kind of a big thing here, actually. It's like, they didn't know what they were tampering with. Can I drain this and get another message? Can I hear something from someone else? It's amazing. We have dialogue from Mercia now. I really don't know if there was any time she spoke before. She might have had like generic battle dialogue in the bonus mission pack, but that doesn't count. I think she's the original guy you kill for Energy Surge, by the way. This is called the Channeling Chamber. It says there's somewhere for me to explore, but I don't know. I'm not allowed through there. Oh wow, the NPCs that were have left. Don't know how to get down there, guys. There's a merchant there, apparently. A fisher? I was expecting that to be something really esoteric and interesting, and it's just it's a fishmonger. So this map is one giant heart. The entire map is a heart. Like, I've never not been in range of it, have I? Hi, I've wanted to ask you for a long time. Is your reshade available? It looks so perfect. This is vanilla, man. I'm not using reshade at the moment. This is not a I'm pretty sure anyway. Yeah, this is, there's no... Oh, there we go. We unfogged it. We got the achievement. This is just Guild Wars 2 right now you're looking at. I can tell you that I'm playing the game at 1440p. Make sure you have environment zone intensity maxed out. And as far as the checkboxes are concerned, Bloom washes a lot of stuff out and can really ruin detail, especially on skyboxes and stuff, so I don't run Bloom. Oh, I don't actually have the color grading on. Why is that not on at the moment? Let's color grading off. Usually I have these on. So I don't know, maybe what you liked was that I had those on. I can't believe those have been off. That means the map's been looking weird and wrong the whole time. Oh my god, it's a lot darker here now. Why were those off? On what planet would I turn those off? I really haven't... Oh, I know why they're off. They're off because about 3 weeks ago, I was doing the Giala Delve Fractal CM. I was doing the Silent Surf CM, and it has a dramatic difference on your visibility in that fractal. And I was grinding that fractal, so I turned them off at that point. Oh, wow, I'm kind of excited to look around the rest of the map again now. Jesus Christ, this happened in Janthir Wild's launch, and it's just happened again now. Oh, look, see the bloodstones are glowing a lot better now. Oh, well, thank you for asking about my non-existent reshade, because you've actually helped out a lot here now. Look at the reflection. Oh, very good. The reflections obviously haven't changed, but the colours feel good here now. Remember, your Warclaw can sniff out treasure on the map? Good point, yeah, good point. I hope there's a lot of good long-term stuff to do. This is the it's going to be really weird for me, this release, guys. This is the first release in years. I'm talking since Drizzlewood, where I'm like going into it, and I'm gonna basically try and get everything. Like eagerly getting everything. So I'm very interested in where that goes. The story might take me here again later, but I'm gonna get that mastery point. Kind of funny that the person that wants humanity to rule Tyria killed the race that wants to rule Tyria. What an irony. Huh? The person that wants humanity to rule Tyria. Who's that person? Who wants humanity to rule Tyria? Are you talking about Kilbron, maybe? There we go. There you are. Oh, this is the Golden Lake, is it? Oh, you're right. This is the Golden Lake. Of course, it's just a name. It's not actually golden. Was it golden once upon a time, maybe? So this was a great ritual site for them, was it? This is where they... Oh, look, there's a ghost. We got to listen to that ghost. It's Manakaz.
The Golden Lake. Seraph shunted me nearby before he died.
Shunted me?
And for what? The Titans chased and gutted me like the rest. Everything. The sacrifices the Meteors wasted puppeteering the heretics. I cannot allow it to be for nothing.
Holy fuck, The
spectral form is limited, but I have my wits. My mastery of Bloodstone, and the will to use them.
I got a vibe from Manakaz at JW's launch that he was a bit of a cartoony sort of villain, but he's very sympathetic, actually. I'm quite into him. If he brings himself, he regrets all of this. Is that what I'm reading there? He regrets what the Mossad did. Well, mind you, he's saying it can't have all been for nothing. Maybe he'd just continue along that line. But it's really, really cool. You know, oh, by the way, guys, this thing about the different types of ghosts on this map and stuff. Another little thing to think about is COF. We were talking in Discord last night about the explorable paths and which ones were good, and the fact that all the Ara ones were really good. Well, COF's pretty good as well. You know, that has Geheron as a ghost trying to resurrect himself. And here we have Manakaz as a ghost trying to resurrect himself. So I'm just saying, it's not without precedent. And there are these... It'll be interesting to keep an eye on this. Oh, you were talking about Abaddon. I don't know whether we can really say that's true of Abaddon, though. I think it's a bit... This is the Hall of Passing. I think Abaddon's true motivations are a bit unknown, really. His conflict wasn't about humanity ruling the world necessarily. It was more the dispute about to distribute magic or not. And he had his favoured people, the Marganites, but I don't know. I think you've put something onto his motivations there that's not actually there in the material. Don't know what's going on here. Is this all stuff like next patch? Or maybe there's a story instance here later? We're going to look for Mabon's Wisp at another Bloodstone shard now. Dude, I'm super into this. Okay, we get some heat stones. That is technically unfogged, I guess. I don't know if I ever already went into the cavern. Was that the room that just felt like a, Also, I wonder if that fishmonger sells anything weird or different or new or unique for fishing there. I wonder if you actually can fish there. You might be able to. There's a mirror over there. Let's just go north. Let's go up to Mabon's stuff. Story leads there? Okay.
Over there. Could it be...
Well, there's something weird going on with the voices in this where you can run away from your own character's voice. I'm sure I'm hearing that. Talking about surround sound and the 3D thing. Any chance?
No! I beg you, please! I can't take anymore!
I won't hurt you.
I won't fall for that! No! Stop! Manicas, please!
Who would enjoy this? No wonder Mabon felt conflicted.
That'll do it.
You bear
Let's
no
get underway.
resemblance to such monsters, Mabon.
Why did Liz think that they were enjoying that? On what part of that interaction suggested enjoyment to Liz? I just realised that there was that comment, shunted. That guy got shunted before he died. Did that mean that he basically got forcefully pushed through the shadow dimension with Shadowcraft to get somewhere else? And then Manica says, and then I died anyway. Is that what they're saying? I'm very much imagining the Shadowcraft travel as Doctor Strange portals right now, by the way. There's another ghost.
We wrung it from a stone, and bodies, and mist, and none was left.
Oh my god, they're all so poetic and lyrical. You run, what do you mean? Ley energy? Blood? I want to go to Wiki and see just a list of all their little quips, all their little idle comments. Jesus, these guys have got chunky bars. They must be scaled from the event. I've never liked fighting these. I'm not saying they're bad for the game. I think that it's cool. It's cool to have enemies with unique characteristics in combat. But this thing where they knock you around and then when they die, they explode into little shards and they all pop. I feel like it was in Lake Doric, you know, there's that champion one right near the entrance on the dock. And ever since then, I'm always like, oh, fuck these things. I had some kind of timer on eligibility of something there. Continue searching for the wisp near Bloodstone shards. That one? That's looking about right. It's looking very central, isn't it?
Could be something.
Use the heart on the third shard.
Afraid to see what evil lurks in these pages. Mabon, what exactly are you trying to tell me?
There's another book. Where is the book? Oh, it's over there. The Bloodstone Book. Oh, wonder if we can translate what's on the side there. Record of Manicas. It's over. Kamali is bleeding titans.
An audience. Come to watch as my sojourn amongst the dead reaches its inevitable conclusion.
Fascinating. The source of our ghost.
I think we heard this dialogue.
Ghost.
That's the event Yeah, we had that last time. He's talking about the familiar face and stuff. You know, it's funny. We've seen the word Kamali so many times, but they've still not really defined whether Kamali was a person, whether the door is named after someone or whatever. Anyway, it's over. Kamali, it's funny. Arenanet wrote this story where you've already got a portal to another dimension, and now there's also this gateway they're talking about and stuff. And they have to be able to do it in like a clean, understandable way. So I guess they just settled on the term Kamali as best as they could. It's over. Kamali is bleeding titans, and Lazarus has sent one final warning across the scrying eyes. Lazarus has sent one final warning across the scrying eyes. Sorry, am I interpreting this a bit too literally? But is the idea that he used like eyes of Janthea to carry messages for him? A human lich wields the scepter of Ore. I wish they had called it Legavo there, or Mulmud, whichever one. And has opened portals across Tyria. I must assume one of them has been opened nearby. Oh, this is great. This is during Hell's Precipice, then. Seraph is supposed to be visiting soon. How can I face him? I spilled the blood of my kin across the stone the other day, on Mercia's order. Yeah, we read that missive. That was 2 messages ago. I remember a guildless... Oh, he killed a child, basically. A child Massat. He could barely float. Barak... Oh, they have to learn to fly? Barak caught him trying to teleport away. His blood stains my armor still. Why wasn't Orestes here to save him? There to save him? Where did that contemptible old fool flee? Did he know what was about to happen? Was that a scream in the distance? Has it started? I cannot let everything collapse here. There must be something in my notes. My lab. I like him talking about his lab, because again, on the last patch, I kind of thought of him as a mad scientist type character, like an inventor type character. With his laboratory and so on. The blood phenom. Wow, look, he's going crazy. You know what this sort of feels a bit like? It feels a bit like listening to tapes in Bioshock. You know, the fall of Rapture. It happens on like New Year's Day for them. And when you're down in the city, you're constantly listening to their last moments and thoughts as the chaos descends around them. It's pretty cool. And I do, by the way, have a cheeky little Let's Play on that. It is very old. And I sound very different in it. But yeah, there is actually a Bioshock LP from yours truly. Anyway, that's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit here. Okay, continue searching the Wizard's Bloodstone shelves. I don't want this to end, almost. I can just imagine someone like,
where's my raid content?
Like annoyed as they like run from point A to point B. But keep them coming. That's what I say. Arenanet, you are cooking right now, and I can smell the meaty, juicy meats. I don't know. Do you know what's a little bit disappointing about the new Monster Hunter Wilds versus World? All the food scenes, the palicos that cook for you and stuff, it's all gone, you know? You mostly just like put a bit of fish or mushrooms on cheese and that's it. The last game was so good for that. Anyway, let me unmute dialogue before we do this because you never know.
It's all right. I'm here to help.
Too late for help. He's gone. I'm not too far behind.
You saw Manikaz die?
Not dead. Hiding. Fled to the Golden Lake. The city is falling. He's afraid.
He'll get what's coming to him.
Oh.
The pain is gone. I don't understand how, but thank you.
He can't hurt you anymore. How do you know he's at the Golden Lake?
He speaks to himself. At first I thought someone might be with him, out of sight. But I soon realized he was arguing with himself. Occasionally, at first, and then constantly.
Interesting.
Your construct is gone,
Well,
Mersat.
you've earned
It's
some peace and
just
quiet. Rest now. I found a lead. Some of the Bloodstone shards still had ghosts tethered to them, just like in Sanguine Crater. Victims of Manikaz.
Yeah?
Apparently, he
What
hid at the
about
Golden
them?
Lake as the city fell. I'm on my way now. The Wisp seems to be following Manikaz's route. Maybe Mabon was following his path of destruction.
That's as good a lead as we found so far. I'll bring
Compared to
back
that
up.
lunatic.
See you soon.
I think I'm rather pleasant.
It's a shame we had the fucking event dialogue across the map,
Sure,
overlapping
Scholar.
with the fucking main
Just
story.
Try to
Again,
prioritize
in
our
what way am
own
I near them?
safety in the future.
In what way?
Right.
Oh,
Point thoroughly
dear.
made.
Dear, 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 dear. Anyway, So yeah, Manikaz was killing people, sacrificing them to put them in the Bloodstones, in an attempt they could be quickly transported over to Kamali or whatever, the Keystone, any of their projects, I guess. And it just wasn't working. It wasn't working in time. And Mercia had told him to kill, you know, the weak, the sick, and so on, dissidents, and this was what he was doing. What's Mabon's big fixation there, though? It's interesting. Mabon was particularly interested in Manikaz, and he's showing us Manikaz's last thing. You know, well, it's amazing. Just take that as a little moment there, by the way. The Pact Commander was just consoling a goddamn Masat. And that was quite captivating for me to see. Alright, okay, so let's keep going. Sorry, in chat. WP... Wait. Wondering if Victory or Death is bugged for the vanilla game? Sorry, for Guild Wars 2? Victory or Death in Guild Wars 2, you're making me think... That's the name of the final mission, isn't it? In the personal story. I've had bugs there where it's crashed me with cutscenes as Zaitan appears the ship and stuff. Or are you talking about Guild Wars 1, the guild mechanic? You know, the sudden death guild mechanic. Is that even in the game still? I wouldn't know with that. Or are you talking about another game, Victory or Death? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean, I'm afraid. The lake's linked to the immortality of wizards, and he hid there. Yeah, well, so hold on. The Wizards Court in the modern era are using this same Golden Lake still? What did the Wizards Court do for years? Is there an explanation for why the Wizards Court didn't do much for a long time? Because the Masat were all over it, this place. As soon as they were gone in the past 250 years, they ramped up, maybe, or something? Yes, exactly. You're stuck in the cutscene after the mouth fight. Yeah, I've had that. I've had crashes after cutscenes. I used to get it a lot at the end of the Morgemoth thing as well. And it's the I can only offer you my empathy. It is the most frustrating, horrible shit. And all you can do is replay it, and it's a really long mission. My best advice is to not be like a dog with a bone, you know, that's just pulling on it and pulling on it and pulling it. Put the game down for a while, put that objective down for a while, and then try again in like a month or so, or a week, where it won't stress you out or be such an annoying experience. I don't know, that's all I can offer you, because the only way that's ever fixed for me when I've had that issue is it's just randomly started working again. And as far as I remember from my Googling about it, when I've suffered from that issue, no one's ever had a real response, except to just try again later. But it's brutal to do it like 5 times in a row and fail 5 times in a row, so just take a big break. Which is not the answer you want to hear, you want to get it done. I know that. So, like I say, I don't have a good response for you. I thought that bug was long since dead, though. Long gone. I haven't had that for years. Half a decade at least. Right, in we go. A legacy damned. Oh, and now we're muted.
If you forget where you are.
It's almost serene if you forget where you are. Secure the area around the Bloodstone. Oh my god, that's a lot of targets. It's a big shame for the final mission. Yeah, and what's ironic about it is it happens at the final mission of Heart of Thorns as well. Both of them have been tarnished at various periods. But I've never known, you know, full screen exclusive, playing in a window, turning various settings off. None of it ever helped, ever, in any way. But what I had was not getting stuck in a cutscene, to be fair. What I always had was getting unceremoniously and instantly, like, crashed out of the game. Or maybe in Heart of Thorns it was the stuck in cutscene thing. Not sure. Just last week, but thanks, you'll start living well then. I mean, that is rough. That is rough. If that's your first time playthrough as well, then that's brutal. I feel terrible for you there. because the personal story doesn't have much to offer, you know, in terms of like instance quality. It's got a lot of scale and scope, and it's kind of what I think the game should always be in terms of breadth. But you know, the instances are pretty weak, except that last one. The last one's very good, and you're missing the actual boss fight as well. I mean, I'll give you a recommendation. Watch my Let's Play. Seriously, I'm not saying that just in a self-interested way. Watch the last episode of my Let's Play so you can at least enjoy the fucking boss fight on some level. You should see what it looks like at least, because it's very impressive. And, you know, I did an amazing job showing it off. Oh, it is your first playthrough. Oh my god, that's rough stuff. Yeah, in my LP I show the whole boss, all the animations, all the cutscenes, all the dialogue, and all the post-game stuff at Fort Trinity as well. And I'll give you bits of trivia as well about some Easter eggs that are there. A little montage of my own at the end. Okay, 2 more ghosts. They're very long stealth, aren't they? This is a good example. Speaking about instance quality, I've seen a lot of criticism about the mod and the mini-X-Pack instant quality. This is the kind of thing they do. This is like personal story level stuff, isn't it? Just kill some mobs picking daisies and walk to an objective. We are back to personal story quality. This isn't really like what it was like in Season 3, even 2, 3, 4. And HOT, POF, EOD. Use the Heart of the Obscure on the Bloodstone Shard. Last one. Mabon, what are you teaching me?
You think this is the end?
No, not really. You seem to be a ghost. I don't know how to get rid of you. It's a shame they couldn't make the backpack ghostly as well. I mean, they kind of did.
I am the blood feeder. With this stone, I will outlast everyone of you.
Seems like that was supposed to be a fight there.
Stop!
Oh, and that's a bit awkward. Watch his story unfold. Oh, I can't. What?
Alchemy.
And then random Titan attack. This is a bit of an iffy one, isn't it? And it's a little Titan as well. Actually, a Devourer style Titan. I don't know if I recognise those from earlier in the game. Is this a first? Have we been fighting these scuttlers before? So what did I just learn happened to Malakaz? Someone assassinated him? He had... I'm guessing he was holding the keystone.
Great.
And someone assassinated him. Or... Oh, hello everybody. Or was he... Was he just misburned and going crazy? Is it the same voice?
There it goes.
Conqueror of the Lake. Conquer it without going down. What? Whatever. These achievements blow my mind. Every release, they blow my mind. What do you mean? It's like that one last patch where it was like, beat this in less than 2 minutes. They give you 120 seconds and it's over in like 7 seconds. I'm not playing like a hyper-optimized build here. So, who was it that was attacking him? It must be that they're still making the personal story expecting you to be wearing greens or something. I just don't know whether that... I think that needs to be reassessed at some point, you know? Like, is that what the majority of the players are experiencing? Open the door with... Oh, I can just open it. Oh, this is... Oh, I always like going into an ancient tomb, into a dungeon. This is like, guys, you know when you join the Dermot Priory, you get that big, beautiful cutscene? This is it, right? Where you're dungeon plundering and exploring. There's Mabon. The memory of Mabon? Oh, and there's a dead seer here. Or is that Masat?
Torn to shreds, bleeding out, alone in the dirt. I hope you felt every bit
It's
of
Manakaz's body.
In the name of each life you massacred, I hope you writhe beneath this future you so desperately feared. Still too merciful an ending for you. At least whoever did you in made fine work of it.
Who was it then? What was it?
Who's there?
To shreds, you say?
I know.
He was in pursuit of someone. And now, it appears, we are as well.
Oh, I love how chill he is about these things.
Any idea who? Was there ever something he said? Or did?
This is something best discussed away from here. We could all use a moment to get our bearings.
If it's all the same to you, Anise, I'm going to stay out here a bit longer.
Yeah. Of course, Commander. Come see me when you're ready. In the meantime, some rest would do me well. She's acting a bit suspicious there. She doesn't want to be here. She's bailing. Dude, I'm loving this patch that all this shit went down. All these people died. This old chapter of history and the book is closed. But Isgaren's still just swaggering around. Arrogant, doing his thing. I love it. I really do. Okay. There's a tattered letter here. I feel like the ultimate dumbass for even thinking for a second that might have been a seer. Or obviously it was always going to be Manakaz's body. And he's just drained so he looks like emaciated or whatever. Tattered letter. S! From V? I feel like I'm about to read something big here. S and V. Wait. Before, let me just put this off screen. We already had an S writing to a V at some point, didn't we? Somewhere buried in Secret of the Obscure Janthir Wilds. I'm sure I read those. That's been a thing already, hasn't it? And you're thinking E dash E. Yeah, I mean, that also does spring to mind a little bit. I feel like this, I've seen this. And someone... But who would it be? I don't know. Was it Valette? Wait, I don't know. Let's just read it. S for Sidoni, maybe? This is the last letter I wanted to write. And I'm certain it will never find its way to you. I just wanted to surprise you, S. I wanted to live... and grow old with you, but I don't think I'm ever getting out of this chamber, my tomb. The unseen ones, these foul, awful beings that we worshipped, they're going to sacrifice me next. After all we did for them. S could be Saul. So what have we got already? My tomb, the unseen one. Calling them the unseen ones is a very White Mantle thing to do. That we worshipped. It's a White Mantle character. They're going to sacrifice me next after all we did for them. Was there a V that escaped? You know, when we were reading about all the people getting sacrificed in the last patch, did someone manage to escape? But they ended up here. But just before we were brought here, I found you a ring and I'd stashed it in my pocket. They never took it from me when we arrived, which surprised me. It belonged to one of the villagers before the twins. Yeah, this was a denizen of that village. It belonged to one of the villagers before the twins, before they killed all of them. I found it in the pile of trinkets that they kept. Is that awful of me after what we did to those people? Is my desperation so cruel? It's not like it matters anyway. The unseen ones brought me to this chamber and locked me inside. I'm alone in here and I'm not getting out. Whenever I sleep, I hear whispers. Whenever I wake, I feel weaker. Is she getting misburned, this person? I don't know what kind of torture this is. Or is it just spectral agony? But the subtlety is maddening. They left me paper to write and a little bit of food to eat. It's as if they don't want me to die. Not yet. But they do want me to suffer. To what end? What is this? But just before they put me here... So, hold on. And Manakaz came here and got assassinated later. Just... So, is this one of Manakaz's experiment rooms or something? Just before they put me in here, I managed to hide your ring under a bush while their backs were turned, just outside the gate to the lakeside holding facility. Was it west of here? My memory worsens by the hour. The room feels smaller, and while writing this, there's no way you'll find my letter. In fact, I hope you don't. I can only hope now that your death is kinder than mine. I hope you never see this place. Knowing what I know now, instead of burying the ring, I should have placed it near the wall where we last kissed. We crossed that very spot when they escorted me to my fate. Do you remember that day, S? When they brought us all to the lake and let us swim and bathe? It was as if they wanted us to feel joy, albeit briefly, so that our suffering would feel all the worse. Gods have mercy. Forgive us. Even if I die here, I'll always wait for you. I just wish we had more time. I hope your death... I just don't want you to feel any pain. V. So, I'm immediately wondering if I can go and get the ring. Under a bush, while their backs were turned, just outside the gate to the lakeside holding facility. I wonder if the ring is actually there. Who the fuck was V? The problem is, I want to go back to the manifest file in this map now and read it and see what their names were. But if I do that, I'm going to end up really far away from the lake. So I guess first I should look for the ring, but I also don't want any of this information to fall out. Keep exploring the instance, smiley face? Oh, okay. What, before I leave? There might be more... Oh, it's in the ring might be in the instance, you mean? I was thinking out in the open world. I was thinking like a, you know, when they hid the royal signet ring of Rurik on Ember Bay. So maybe go back outside. I managed to hide your ring under a bush outside the gate to the lakeside holding facility. Well, I wouldn't call that a gate, nor would I call it a lakeside, nor would I call it... I mean, it could be a holding facility. Oh, there is actually a green circle on my map. I'll just keep this open. V is Vram, K is Kralogan. Vass is the only V you can think of but can't be related. Yeah, I don't think it would be Vass. We do have a mark on the map, yes. Oh, Peculiar Bush. Wow. I'm assuming S is Saul, don't you guys think? I mean, it's funny because we've never had any stories about Saul being really intimate with anyone. As you dig underneath the bush, you find a small golden ring wrapped in old cloth. You take it in your hand and you swear you feel a loving warmth. Step away with the ring in hand. Can you hear that heartbeat sound effect? The ambience in this map's top notch. Lover's ring. Carrying this ring gives you a sense of warmth. You wonder what will happen if you place it in the rock wall described in the letter. Where they kissed? Oh, it will reveal. We'll see ghost memories of them. Are we going to see Saul and V making out? Once golden, now tarnished. So the rock wall described in the letter. Instead of burying it, I should have placed it near the wall where we last kissed. We crossed that spot when they escorted me to my fate. So, well, we might just have another green circle. Kind of ruins it a little bit. Doesn't really ruin it. Again, I think Horizon has a really good setup with this. Where they'll give you a very broad area, but then there are other icons that appear once you're in it. So we're looking for a rock wall. This is good. I love stuff like this when Guild Wars does this. The Lover's Wall. As you place the ring in the crevice in the wall, you feel the mood of the area lighten. Suddenly you swear you can hear footsteps. I mean, maybe it's not Saul. Maybe they're just... Oh, they didn't talk? They just came together, embraced, and left? Oh, that's sweet. So it's just S and V. How does 80% haste reduction translate into madness? Spectral Agony does a lot of damage and puts minus 30 degen and 80 haste decrease without 5 pieces of agony resist. Which you're talking about Guild Wars 1 there, right? See, I don't think it's... I don't think that Spectral Agony is different to the Mistburn, right? Yeah, unless it was Saul with his head and bitch shaving. I don't know. I think that was just a generic NPC model. It could have been them. If I knew there were nobodies, I wouldn't have bothered reuniting their ghosts. Yeah, they didn't have lore for me, so what the fuck? You think you matter? There's so many people. There's so many ghosts out there, alright? My time is limited. I'm tapping my watch right now. It's limited. If you're not Saul, I'm not interested. Alright, well, anyway, we got a ring, I guess, maybe? Okay, let's, penance for the past. Let's leave now. Oh, I just had that moment. I always hate it when I have this moment, but that moment where I feel like I'm coming to the end of the patch. Mind you, might be 2 instances remaining. We might have 2 to go. So touchy. Find all the interactive objects in the library. See, this is what I saw. Look at this! The Veiled Library. Look at this. There's loads of things. Journals, pages, a Morello nest. Check in with Anise back at the Alliance staging grounds. Oh man, I'm very, very keen on this. Guys, we're 3 hours in though. I'm gonna stop. I hope that's not a really frustrating end one. Oh god, it's actually painful for me to end it at this point, I have to say. I would love to keep going. But I will see you next time. I'm gonna try and juggle this. I don't want to beat it all in 2 patches, in 2 streams. So look, we'll take what we've learned here. We'll come back on the next one. I would love to read your comments, how you found the patch, what your interpretation is of some of this stuff that we've read here today. Oh my god, I've had a lot of fun on this one. Really cool. So yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're all having a lovely evening. Go enjoy your dinners or get some rest and all that. And yeah, wow. This is so good. This is so much better than the stuff last year with Nyos. You'd think exploring a magical different demon realm would be, you know, have a quality of its own, but it turns out all I really love is Tyria, and I want more about Tyrian history and stuff. And man, they're really delivering, aren't they? They've really thought a lot of stuff out. So yeah, give me your theories, and probably the next one will be the end of the main story at the very least, and you know, we'll continue on. We'll see what we think about these lanes and stuff. So much to read, so much going on. Did you say which day? It'll probably not tomorrow, the day after. I'm going to treat it like we did all the FF episodes, where it's every other day. That gives people a day to watch the VOD, and you know, if they've missed it, and then, you know, hopefully can tune in the day after. I've also got Zeus episodes I want to juggle out, so yeah. Thank you, everybody. Oh, this has been lots of fun. Thanks, and I'll see you for the next one. Take care, guys. See you soon. Oh, let's do a wave. We haven't done a wave for a while. There you go.